Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We back. The Knicks outfoxed against the Sacramento Kings. Outfoxed by De'Aaron Fox. Let's get to it. We're gonna start off with this David Fizdale interview, post-game interview. Let's get rocking, y'all. Let's get going. And yeah, let's do it. David Fizdale, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to check out David Fizdale's post-game interview. Like I said, the Knicks outfoxed by De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox today, this afternoon, dropped 30 points, 8 assists against the New York Knicks, outdueling Dennis Smith Jr. De'Aaron Fox looks good, man. I like De'Aaron Fox. I really do. And I know Dennis Smith Jr. takes it kind of personal when he goes up against De'Aaron Fox because they've been going up against each other since high school, right? They've been playing against each other since high school. They got a little rivalry going on. Who's the fastest guard in the league? All that good stuff. But, De'Aaron Fox got the best of him today. Not to say it's always going to be that way, but he got the best of him today. De'Aaron Fox, man. The kid is nice. Anyway, the New York Knicks lost, and we are going to get into a little bit of this David Fizdale post-game press conference.
Coach, you were tied 68 in the third quarter, outscored 12-zip to end the third quarter. You were also up 90-89 in the fourth, and then outscored 13-4. What did you see in those two runs?
Fox. That's what I saw. Yep.
How challenging is it when he's just constantly putting pressure on the defense, pushing the ball up the court?
He's a big-time talent, man. He's got such his court presence. That's what I want. He's got that just true point guard court presence. He knows how to get his guys shots, and at the same time when to turn it on and go get his own. And for a young guy to have that kind of feel for the game, that's pretty special.
Coach, how do you think the team did with the kind of different start time today? You guys got out to a good start, but then kind of faded in the last three quarters?
Well, yeah, the second and the third, we were just kind of, we couldn't get a shot to go down. I really thought we moved the ball a lot better. Had a few possessions where we held, but overall, I really thought we moved it, but we just couldn't hit shots when we needed to hit shots. We missed like 6 point-blank clips, uncontested right at the rim. And we just can't afford that to win games. We have to make those shots to give ourselves a chance.
Smith got you off to a pretty fast start. Mm-hmm. What have you seen from him since he's been here?
I think Dennis is a talent, and it's just a matter of time as he starts to see the game more, get comfortable with his teammates. Good things are going to keep happening for him. We keep improving the shot, but he's getting better, and he's his conditioning level is getting better. And he's starting to understand how to get his guys involved.
Coach, you guys were rolling in the fourth with Mitch and Luke in that lineup, and then you took Mitch out for DeAndre. What did you see from Mitch?
He was done. He was barely getting up and down the court, and so instead of letting him, not, be focused and play, make mental mistakes or things like that, I figured get a fresh body in there and, having a luxury like DJ, we didn't feel like it was going to be that big of a shift.
That tech on Dennis, did that kind of take the wind out of the sails a little bit there? And did you?
I don't know, but I don't like it, and I'm gonna tell him I've gotten my own fair share in bad times, but he was frustrated that he didn't get the call. He thought the guy went under him, but we can't. None of us can get techs in that moment, obviously, and that's just a learning lesson for him and the team.
Vonleh suffer the hip injury? And is like
it happened in the last game, and yesterday when we were going through our stuff, he was kind of gimping a little bit, and then by the time he got here today, that thing was basically locked up. It was his hip, and so we just next man up, and hopefully we can get him back for this trip.
Coach,
Okay.
Obviously, Fox tonight and then Booker the other night. How much do you guys miss Frank and what he brings defensively? To those guys?
Yeah, it's good to have a guy like that you can sick on to people with a reputation of defending. And so when we get him back, it'll be good to have him, because then you can, when guys get going, you can actually throw Frank on them.
With the schedule the way it is, just coming back here for one game, did it feel more like a road game aside from the crowd itself?
Absolutely. Yeah, the crowd was with us, no doubt about it, but the feeling was like a road game, because we about to go right back to the airport and take off. So, but that didn't matter. That doesn't affect us from the standpoint of winning and losing. They had they had to fly across country. It was 9 o'clock for them starting this game. So, they had to rally themselves as well. Wasn't ideal circumstances for them either. So we just got to get back in the lab and get back to work.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the main screen. I'm sorry about the countdown. Didn't switch up my transition, but it's all good. So, the countdown is the countdown. Anyway, you heard David Fizdale, De'Aaron Fox, right? We know about him, De'Aaron Fox. He laid it to us tonight. That's okay. That's okay. But we're gonna have to learn how to defend these guys like this, man. Right? I mean, Dennis Smith Jr. He did the last game. He did a decent job on De'Aaron Fox. This game, not so much. I see Dennis Smith Jr. sometimes, like he did it today against De'Aaron Fox, reaching. I don't get it with some of these guys, man. When you reach, you don't move your feet. That's just that. Some guys just don't get it, though. They still reach. AAU players, AAU high school players, I expect it from, but we practice it. We work on it. We do slides with their hands behind their back. We play defense with their hands behind their back. They get in the game and they reach. And if you reach on a guy like De'Aaron Fox, you're going to be left stuck in the mud. And that happened a few times tonight. Can't reach. Come on. Dennis Smith Jr. knows better than that. I know he does. Right? He knows better than that. Can't reach on a guy like De'Aaron Fox, because if you do, you're getting done in. But all in all, I wasn't totally just super mad about today's game. I thought that we came out with good energy. We came out playing fast. We were the defense looked decent. We were pushing the ball right from the beginning. I like that. We were playing with good speed and we were getting decent shots out of it. It wasn't like we were pushing the ball and pulling up some crazy shots. We were getting good shots out of it. We started off with good energy. And you got to play with that kind of energy against Sacramento. Not that we are going to match the pace that they play with, because De'Aaron Fox is just a lightning bolt getting up and down the floor. But we tried, and we did it for a little while. After a while, though, that pace. Listen, when you're playing with that kind of pace, I don't think Fizdale subbed Dennis Smith Jr. until about 3 minutes left in that first quarter. Now, he was high. He scored 11 points in the first quarter. But if you're going to play with that kind of pace, you got to be getting people in and out, in and out. You got to get them in and out, because that kind of pace can be relentless. You'll get tired. You'll be gassed. And you heard it. Mitch Robinson, they asked why was Mitch Robinson pulled out of the game? Because he was gassed, because you're playing at such a crazy pace. That's another reason why Mitch Robinson is not playing 35 minutes a game yet. His conditioning, and people will say, well, he's been playing a whole year. But you know what? To really get your conditioning is a little bit more than just running up and down the floor. Your body needs to have the strength to maintain that level of conditioning. But anyway, the Knicks lose to the Sacramento Kings tonight. We got a couple guys in the video chat. We got C-Dog. We got Andy. We're going to go ahead and pull it over here and talk to these guys and find out how they felt about today's game. Of course, I wanted to get this win. I don't care about the whole tank thing, because we are going to be last anyway. We're going to be the worst team in the league anyway. So you might as well root for the Knicks to win. You know what I mean? So let's talk to these guys. C-Dog, what's popping, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. Enjoying the weekend.
Yeah.
The Knicks game was hey, it was a good game. I liked it. It was exciting. They played. They tried.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have enough. Fox was hard for us.
Yeah. Fox was tough. And you know, the thing about De'Aaron Fox, and I know this is a Knicks show, and we're talking a lot about De'Aaron Fox, but we just played him, and he cooked us today. He doesn't, I guess every once in a while he does pull some bad shots, but for the most part, you know, he's pretty slick with his shot selection, right? You know, he picks and chooses when he's gonna go, and then of course he's quick enough to get to the basket anytime that he wants to get to the basket. But I think he has pretty good shot selection. That goes a long way, and that's hard, and that's the reason why you've seen his field goal percentage rise this season from last season because of that shot selection. You know, then of course he's worked on his pull, he's worked on his 3-point game. Then he's left-handed, man. A left-handed guy I hate guarding left-handed people. Right? For a right-handed person, sometimes it's confusing because you're used to, well, not for a right-handed person. When you play defense, you're used to guarding somebody who goes right. Most people are right-handed, and so you might force them to the left. And then you get on someone who's left-handed, and you force them to the, you know, you end up forcing them to the left, and that's their strong hand. And then when they pull up, you're used to contesting with your right hand, right? Now you probably want to contest with your left hand, but you're used to contesting with your right, so you still go up with your right, which means that you left the whole left side open for them to see the rim and shoot. You haven't really contested the shot. Sometimes, you know, for right-handers, it's hard to guard a southpaw, you know. But and De'Aaron Fox is a southpaw, and he's got that speed. He's tough to deal with. He's a special player, I think. Yeah. Andy, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it was good, fun game to watch, back and forth. Nobody got a lead like up 20, so it was kind of fun to watch. The result, what can we say about the result? Nobody was surprised, I think, after the last few games. So we're just waiting till May 14th.
Yeah. I think the biggest lead by the Kings was maybe 14 or 15 points. I think that was the biggest lead sometime there in the fourth quarter. The Knicks were able to fight back, which is that's the one thing I say about this group right now, because this is a totally different team than we've had from the beginning of the season. There's been, a couple of games where they've just been blasted. But for the most part, I think this group fights. You know what I'm saying? They fight. They fight, and they fight hard. And I got to give it up to them for that. They may not have all of the defensive fundamentals down, and they have some defensive lapses. The offense may be just, kind of AAU style offense right now. I was reading an article. I forgot. No, it wasn't an article. I think I was reading Jonathan Macri's tweets, and someone was commenting on the offense, and he said maybe, and he was just saying maybe. He said maybe Fizdale is playing this style of offense because he knows stars would want to play in an offense that's freewheeling and would give them the freedom to do what they want to do. I don't know. And he wasn't saying that he thinks that's the reason why. He was just saying maybe, No. To me, when I look at the Warriors offense, they just don't freewheel. It may seem like they're freewheeling sometimes, but they know what they're doing. Right? They set a lot of off-ball screens. There's a lot of man movement, ball movement. And even though we don't have the kind of players, and I know that's what a lot of people will always go back to, we don't have the players. You don't have to have the player. You don't have to convert the shots, right? But you can see if someone is going through a certain type of offense, right? You may not make the shots, but you know if guys are going down and setting screens. Everybody in the league knows how to do that motion at least. Go down and set a down screen, a pin down screen, curl off of screens. Maybe they don't set the screen very well, but you can see them going and setting the screen and at least trying to do something. You know, so I guess it's just, you know, it's to be seen. You know, let's see what happens when we get some players in here. That's all I can say. You know, we'll see what happens when we get some players in here. At times, I do see it, though. I can say that. I do see it at times. And then there are times when I don't see it. So maybe that's more of an indictment on the players than the coach. You know, maybe I'm a coach, so I know. There are, you know, times when we've drilled the offense, and not just going over the offense, but have broken down the offense into small pieces, right? And went over little pieces and drilled it for hours and hours and hours at a time, right? Drilled little pieces of the offense. And then we get in the game and they do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't touch the offense. And it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, we just went over this for 3 hours yesterday. We broke down piece after piece after piece. And now you get out here and this is what you're doing. And sometimes you got to bring them back and say, okay, we're going to go out here. We're just going to focus on the fundamentals. We're going to focus on doing everything the right way. And you got to bring them back to it. Sometimes it's like that. So, you know, it's hard to say right now if it's an indictment on Fizdale or if it's an indictment on the players. You know, we'll learn more when we get better players in here. You know, I think we'll learn more then.
If you get a real point guard, you can get better results. Golden State has a real point guard running the show.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
You can't expect the stuff you're talking about if you got pedestrian point guard play, because they the ones with the ball in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
You need somebody that's a threat, that's a wizard with the ball, that knows what he's doing. You know, that can make it happen, and that'll get people open.
At least in today's NBA, you know, like years ago, maybe you could slide with this one, but
even back then, they had people that was wizards with the ball. Well, John Stockton, Mark Jackson, Magic, Isaiah, guys that can handle the ball, that know what they're doing, that know how to get people open. They know what they know. If they drive a certain way, the double team's going to go, and they know exactly where to throw the ball to the open dude. We don't have that. No.
Yeah. And that's
why
true.
they need a point guard.
That's true. You got to have a guard that's going to run what the coach wants you to run. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, it's not going to be every single time down the floor, but you got to have a point guard that knows, you know, when to go ahead and let the game flow, or when to say, okay, we're not doing anything. We need to really get into one of these sets. This set will work right now. You do need to have someone that can really manage the game that way.
They don't call that many plays in the NBA, you know.
They don't call a lot of. No, they don't.
NBA is a game of action and reaction.
Right. They don't call a lot of plays. It's a game of action, just like you said, action and reaction. And that's where a system comes in, where people always think a system is a set of plays, and it's not a set of plays. A system just really tells you, if someone does this, this is what I do. If the point guard drives to the right, right, and then
on the left side,
you know, you're gonna have a cutter from the left side, and the person that's on the right side is gonna float to the corner or whatever it is, right? It's just a system is really just a set of actions and reactions to what happens with the ball. Everything is based around what happens with the basketball. The basketball moves this way, you go this way. If the person with the ball calls for a screen, this is what you do now. And of course you can put in a set of, you know, you can put in a system that has a lot of screens, off ball screens, on ball screens, system that has a lot of cutting and flashing. That's all that a system is. So many people get confused thinking that a system means that you got to have a set play every time down the floor, and it's not. Right now, within a system, you might have a set play. Usually a set play calls the number for somebody, right? Maybe it comes from out of bounds, or you say, okay, you know what? We want to get Kevin Knox the ball in the post. We're going to call such and such and such, and we're going to get him in the post. We're going to run this action. You know, things like that. But for the most part, you're right. They run, you know, it's just a lot of actions and reactions to what the defense gives you. And that is the best way to play basketball. You know, that's the best way to play basketball. But a lot of times, we see it sometimes. You know, I don't know if we see it enough. But you also got to have players that can react to the defense, and that's a big part of it.
Because Golden State runs the same play when they need a basket all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They'll dump it down to the foul line to the dude. He'll take one dribble in, and the cat coming from the damn baseline either way is going to be open because everybody's going to bite on the middle guy, the guy in the middle and coming down the lane, and they get a dunk or a layup every time without fail.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. Time is going to tell. Time is going to tell. I see Mighty Knicks ask the question: do we not like Dennis Smith Jr. now? No, that's not the case. It's just he's 21 years old, second year in the league. It's time to be. Time will tell if he's going to become type of point guard that can really run your system of play.
I never thought he was a point guard. I still think he's a two guard, but I guess he needs to grow a couple of more inches to really be a two. But we need a starting two. I don't mind him coming off the bench that'll really make us a real team.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I see him trying to do, whatever it is that Fizdale has out there, trying to run it. So we'll see what happens. See what goes on. Isaiah, man, what's popping? You got a lot of noise.
Hey, what's going on, son?
What's up, man?
Sorry, man, I'm on the train. I'm headed to New York right now.
You.
Hello?
What's
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. What's up with you? You're on live, man.
Oh, no,
you got C.
I'm headed to New York. I'm headed to New York. I'm going to the garden with my girl. Going to a concert tonight.
Oh, who you going to see?
She wanted to go see B2K, so I took her to B2K.
All right. Why you laugh like that?
No, because it's the B2K millennial it's a millennial tour concert. So
yeah, Isaiah felt funny saying he was going to a B2K concert. He didn't want to say that. He didn't want to let everybody know he was going to a B2K concert.
Yo, you funny, so.
Don't do that.
But so I want to talk about a few things because there's been a few things that's been on my mind lately, especially the news about Ntilikina about to be traded.
He can't be traded.
He can't be traded.
The line is over.
We're gonna talk about that though. We haven't gotten there yet. We're gonna talk about the game.
The trading deadline is over.
Oh, the game? Yeah, the game. I watched the game a little bit before we left. Yeah, we, I kind of don't know right now with Fizz right now, man. I just don't get a few things he's doing. Like, the defense hasn't been there all year, and then I don't know what happened with Mitch at the end. I don't know why he didn't. I heard he didn't play towards the end. But
Fizdale said he was gassed.
He could have won this game. So what did Fizdale say?
Fizdale said he was gassed. He was tired. They were playing at a really fast pace today. Super fast pace. They were playing at a super fast pace.
Yeah, that might have been a good excuse. This game, we definitely could have won it. I was hoping we could have won because the way it's looking right now, we're definitely in position to have the number one spot. But I would have definitely wanted to get this game because we were playing good for most of the game. But then I don't know, like our defense hasn't been there all year. The intensity really hasn't been there. And then the lack of ball movement is I'm not gonna lie, it's been a real concern. I think it's gonna be a concern for a while until we get real players to pass the ball, because right now we just got a lot of players that are just me, and there's a lot of ISO, a lot of there's nobody ball movement, there's no flow of the ball, there's no energy going through the ball. It's just really been concerning me because all year long we have had no ball movement. We've been averaging 19 assists. That's on Fizz though, because it's just the lack of ball movement is just really concerning to me.
Well, I mean, let's just see. Let's see what happens let's see what happens next season. Let's just see what happens next season. It's been a carousel of players in here this season. I mean, I do agree. We clearly, haven't had, the best offense. We scored 94 points tonight. There's been times when our offense did move, a select few games throughout the season, but for the most part, it's been pretty much,
we have a lot of me players right now. So we have a lot of AAU babies that just believe that the ball must go through their hands so they can score. It just,
it's a key word.
I mean, this whole year just
right, but there is a key word in there that you just said. One key word. You know what you just said?
Was it babies?
Babies. That's the key word. Babies, man. Babies. That's the key word. Key word is babies. You got a lot of babies out there on the floor, and it's gonna take some time for them to learn. It's on Fizdale to put the right type of structure in place, but it's a lot of babies out there. So,
hey, so can I say one more thing before I go, because I won't be able to really watch it tonight and stuff.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, if it's about the Frank rumors, man, I really hope they don't trade the kid. I really, really don't, because I believe he's a representation of what's really like how players should play. And I know people are going to catch me for flack because I like Frank. I think he plays the right way, and I really hope they don't trade him. And if they do trade him, I really do hope he goes to the Spurs or Milwaukee with somebody, a team that features ball movement, because, I think if we give Frank the chance that we give Knox, because Knox is just, right now, he's been historically bad. If we give Frank that chance, I think he would be good. But, like I said, if they trade Frank, I really do hope they give him to the Spurs or the Bucks so we can really see him develop, because, it's just been rough for the kid, and I feel bad for him. But, I do believe, they're all babies, and I do believe they'll be good. Just want to say that.
All right, man. Well, look, enjoy B2K. I don't know when is the last.
Don't do that to me, man.
When's the last time they had a song? I mean, I don't follow them, so I don't know.
No, this is a millennial. This is a millennial talk. So they haven't been doing music, but they just decided to bring it back.
Right,
so
right. They haven't
it's
been
gonna be the Yin Yang Twins in there. It's gonna be the Yin Yang Twins in there. It's gonna be Pretty Ricky. It's gonna be a couple people in there.
My man Isaiah, that's an epic concert for millennials, man. That's an epic concert. My man said B2K, the Yin Yang Twins, and Pretty Ricky.
Oh, Chingy gonna be there too. Chingy gonna be there.
Chingy! Oh my gosh! Did you say Chingy?
Yeah, Chingy gonna be there for real. Chingy gonna be there.
You said Chingy.
Yeah,
Chingy, man. When is the last time that I heard of Chingy? When is the last time?
Yo, it's a millennial too.
I know. But I know. Dang. Chingy.
Hey, listen, man, this is what my girl wanted. You know how we rock. That's how we do. I got to treat her good,
Yeah, well, enjoy you and your girl. Enjoy the concert. All right, go check
out. Sim, one more thing. Shout out to your daughter, yo. She killed it. She murdered it. She's a killer. For real.
Yes.
I shouted her. I was like, she. Shout out to your daughter for real, because she's a killer. She's MVP, leading rebounder, leading scorer, yo. Real talk, Sim. I'm really, really proud of her. Everybody should shout her out because she's doing her thing. Shout out to you for being a coach. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her mama. Shout out to her brother Joe. She really is a killer for us, Sim. I'm proud of her.
Appreciate it. And for you guys anyone who doesn't know, last night my daughter's school had a banquet, and she won leading rebounder, leading scorer.
She won like 30 awards, like 30, 40 awards.
Yeah, leading rebounder, leading scorer, team MVP, and she won first team all conference in the conference. So, she did her thing.
And it was International Women's Day. Shout out to her.
And it was International Women's Day. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, she's doing big things, and she got up early this morning and took her SATs.
There you go.
Yeah, so hey,
proud of her, Simba. Yeah, I talked to you, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'll let her know too. Appreciate it. All right, go ahead.
Good, man.
Enjoy your millennial concert, man. Get an autograph from Chingy for me. Get that Chingy autograph.
I got you.
All right.
I got you.
Big shout out to Isaiah, man. And before I move on, we're just gonna recap the game for a quick second. But I do need to do this. All right, you guys see, you guys might change the channel or unsubscribe or something after you see this. I got a Wizards shirt on today. All right, and I had to wear it on the show. So you see, I got this Wizards shirt on, 18. I got it when last time I went to the Wizards game. Looks like I spilled like soda on it or something. But I made a bet with one of my players the last time the Knicks and Wizards played that the Knicks would win, and the Knicks lost. I think that was the game the Knicks lost on a goaltend. And I told her that I told her if the Knicks lose, I will wear this Wizards shirt on the show. So, just in case she's watching, not going to say her name because she's a minor, but there you go. I got your Wizards jersey on, and with the soda spill on it from earlier, and you're going to get 2 towel pushes for that. So now, anyway, let's get back to it, man. We're going to go ahead and we're going to recap this game real quick. All right, talk about, just recap the game. It was a fun game, exciting game to watch. I think it was. It was fun watching the guys get up and down the floor, move with the basketball. That kind of pace, listen, that kind of pace, Mark says it a lot, that kind of pace really does help Kevin Knox. It forces him to get into the game, forces him to move. You seen early, he was active with the ball. The ball was in his hands a lot early in the game, in that first quarter, early in the first quarter. Ball was in his hands a lot. Right? He knocked down a 3. He got an assist to DeAndre Jordan all within the first 5 minutes. I think he maybe, rebounded 2. It forces him to be active. It forced him to be active. We got to find a way to make him stay active so that he doesn't float out of himself out of the game. You know what I mean? So that he doesn't float himself out of the game. But it does. It forces him to be active. So let's recap the game. Let's go over it. Let's talk about it. The Knicks lose to the Sacramento Kings 102-94 for the second time in 2 weeks? Something like that. Fun game, entertaining game, but nonetheless, the Knicks took the loss to the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks, they came out in the first quarter. Nice first quarter. 30-23. The Knicks won the first quarter, 30-23. They lost the second quarter, 25-16. They lost the third quarter, 32-22. They tried to get, they took the lead in the fourth quarter, 90-89. But they weren't able to maintain it. Too much De'Aaron Fox. All right, too much De'Aaron Fox. 30 points, 8 assists for De'Aaron Fox. Knicks end up losing 102-94 to the Sacramento Kings. Outfoxed today. The Knicks won the rebounding battle 58-53. DeAndre Jordan with a double-double tonight. The Knicks the Knicks had 16 assists, 3 steals, 5 blocks, 9 turnovers. They shot 37.2% from the field. They shot the ball 94 times. Sacramento Kings shot it 95 times. The Knicks shot 98.6% from the three-point line. Only 66.7% from the stripe. Knicks got to do better at the stripe because they shot 21 times. Shot 21 times. And that's the Knicks lost by what they lose by? 8 points. They gave up 4, 5, whatever, at the free throw line. Not gave up 5. The Sacramento Kings outscored them by 4 at the free throw line. The Kings made 18 free throws. The Knicks made 14 free throws. That's a difference. The Knicks made 18 free throws there. It's a 4-point game coming down the stretch instead of an 8-point game in the last minute. There's a big difference there. You got to make those free throws because throughout the game, both teams played a similar game. Right? They both shot under 40% from the field. The Kings shot, a few ticks better from the 3-point line. The Kings were 12 for 36 from the 3-point line. 33%. All right. The Kings made one more field goal than the Knicks. They were 36 for 95. They were 37.9%. I don't know why the Knicks are so bad from the free throw line. Dennis Smith Jr. is only, 50% from the free throw line? He's got to fix that. He's got to fix it. Got a little hitch in his shot or something. Check out the box scores. Look at the box scores real quick. Start with the Knicks, not Sacramento. Kevin Knox played 23 minutes. No minutes down the stretch for Kevin Knox. He had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. Lance Thomas played 25 minutes. He had 10.7 rebounds. DeAndre Jordan did the usual, 14 points, 15 rebounds, had 1 block. Damian Dotson, 2 for 12 from the field, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Dennis Smith Jr., he had 18 points. He only shot 36.8% from the field. He also had 5 assists, only 1 turnover on the night. Alonzo Trier, he had 10 points, 3 rebounds. Henry Ellenson, he only played 4 minutes on the night. Had a donut as far as points are concerned. Had 2 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson, money-making Mitch. I'm going to talk about that. Money-making Mitch. 8 points, 9 rebounds. Also had 3 blocks. Emmanuel Mudiay, he had 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Wasn't really impressed with his game. He shot 50% from the field, but I guess he was all right. 3 turnovers. Led the team in turnovers. Luke Cornett, he only played 13 minutes. He had 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. John Jenkins played in that fourth quarter. He had 9 points, came in and hit 3 threes, 1 rebound. Check out the Sacramento Kings. Harrison Barnes, he had 11 points, 8 rebounds. Bogdanovich had 9 points, 4 rebounds. Willie Cauley-Stein, 7 points, 12 rebounds. Willie Cauley-Stein is starting to get tattoos on his face. Pretty soon he's going to look like Tekashi 6ix9ine. I was looking at his face. I didn't notice it before. And I was like, I thought he got punched in both eyes. Then when they did a close-up, I seen he just had red tattoos under his eyes. I was like, yeah, it looked like Tekashi 6ix9ine pretty soon. Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox had 30 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. He had 3 turnovers. He also had 1 steal. He was doing his thing out there. Buddy Hield, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Let's talk about Buddy Hield for a second. Because everyone, and C-Dog brought this up earlier before the stream went live. A lot of people talk about Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina as well. But Buddy Hield is one of these guys too. In his first year, he was highly touted in his first year. What'd he do? People thought he was a bust. And what happened? He got traded. And now look at him. You know what I mean? Got to give these guys time to play. We got to give these guys time to play. Stop judging them within the first 60, 70 games of their career. And stop saying that this is going to be their career. And I know I'll hear a whole lot of stuff. But Buddy Hield did this. But Buddy Hield did that. That's what they'll say. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it'd be. But he did this. But he did that. But he showed this in his first year. But he showed that. Bottom line is that he didn't have the kind of season that was expected from him as a rookie. And he was traded. You know what I'm saying? In his first season, he averaged 10 points per game, 3 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists per game. Field goal percentage was okay, 42% from the field. 3-point percentage was nice, 39% from the 3. Right? But people was like, he's just all right. Second season, only 8.6 points per game. I'm sorry. Hold up. Let me back up. first season, 8.6 points per game with the Pelicans. He went to Sacramento and he averaged 15. Altogether, it was 10.6 points per game. Right? His second season, the Kings, he dropped back down to 13.5 points per game. But you know what? They gave him time to play, let him grow and become a player. Now this year, he's averaging 21 points a game. Gave him time to grow. They gave him time to become a player. Give these guys time, man. Let's give them time to see what's going to happen in their career. Let's not give up on them so quick. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about it. Let's just give them time to play. Anyway, back to it. Nemanja had 13 points, 10 rebounds. Harry Giles III. He didn't have the kind of game he had last time we played against him. See, last time we played against him, his chest was swelled, right? Because he was having a good game. So, he threw an elbow at Luke and, all that. Got ejected. He let his head get too big that game. Held on the Raps today. 6 points, 5 rebounds. Corey Brewer. I still can't believe Corey Brewer had a 50-point game. I didn't even know Corey Brewer was 6'9", or whatever. I think that's what he said. That's what they said last game. 6'9". I thought Corey Brewer, I really did. I thought Corey Brewer was like 6'6". I didn't know he was 6'9". How old is Corey Brewer? 31? Like, Corey, his look, he's got a throwback look. He's skinny as crazy as ever. He's skinny as a mug. Got a throwback look, though. Yeah, I didn't expect Corey Brewer to be. I didn't know he was 6'9". Skinny, wiry dude. A lot of defense, man. I like Corey Brewer, though. I like Corey Brewer. Yogi Ferrell, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Nobody else played for the Sacramento Kings who needed a win. They leave out at Madison Square Garden with a win, 33. They are now 33 and 32 on the season, still fighting for that 8th playoff spot. Sacramento Kings. All right. Let's get back. We're gonna get back to our guys here in the video chat. I know got some people that's trying to jump into the video chat. Let me see who we got. Oh, we got Guermo. Got Guermo here. Looks like who's Mark. His Metro PCS. Messing with him. Guermo, what's popping, man? What's good with you?
Yo, unfortunately, I couldn't get to the game, and I was playing soccer. But I caught what you're talking about with the off-ball, on-ball stuff, and I was agreeing with you on that. But it's another loss. Is what's expected. No one really had a good game. Dennis Smith, shot 36.8%. I think 2 for 7 from 3. It just wasn't a good game, right? So, it just sucks because it's like we're really tanking. We're really, really, really tanking. So I can't really judge what he's doing cleanly. It is hard on the team. So
it is hard to judge what's really happening out there because I was asking myself this question. I'm going to ask you guys.
Mm-hmm.
If the season started, let's just say, this is all hypothetical, folks. So let's just say we started the season with this same squad, right? And maybe there's a vet or two added. And they said, okay, we're going to take this squad. We're really going to try to make the playoffs. With this team right now, you got Dennis Smith Jr., Damian Dotson, Kevin Knox, DeAndre Jordan, and whoever's at the 4 at the time. Could be Lance Thomas, Norvon Lay, whoever you put out there. Do you think they could fight for an 8th spot if they really, really put their heads down and fought for it, at least in the East? Right? Because
right now, who's in the 8th spot is the Heat or the Heat? And honestly, I understand Dwayne Wade's having his, last year, and he's looking good. I would say the Pistons, Nets, and the Heat are the last three. Especially the Nets, they're 34 and 33. Heat are 31 and 34. Those two teams, that's all coaching right there. So
yeah, with
the squad we have now, I mean, we probably get knocked out first round, obviously by the Bucks, Raptors, or even Pacers. Well, Pacers, even without Oladipo, but that'd be a fringe playoff team, man. We would have, I think that's enough talent to at least get the 8th spot, given the Heat are 31 and 34.
The Heat are 31.
Look way better than us and are in the 8th spot right now.
Because what I think a lot of people fail to see and recognize is that once the players know, and I see people in here say hell no and blah blah blah, but see, I disagree with them, because once the players know what you're doing with the season, and they know that you're at a point right now where nothing really matters as far as record is concerned. Nobody, in my opinion, although it may look likely, nobody, in my opinion, is really going out there and giving 125%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're not as invigorated, man. Like,
exactly.
It's funny because we keep talking about tank, but you got to realize on the flip side, you got guys who are fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their NBA lives and their jobs. There's pride to that. But like you said, if you take it out, if there's nothing to play for, it feels like there's nothing to play for. We're just hoping for Durant and KD or Kawhi or whoever next year. Guys give up. These players, they play, there's no chip on the shoulder. There's no,
right.
You know what I mean? So
Right. And like Ghost Rider said, they don't win with the team now. And yeah, they may not win with the team now, but there's a difference when you're playing for something and when you're not playing for anything. There's a difference in the way that you address the game, right? The energy level that you come out. I can guarantee you, if Fizdale said to the guys, you know what, let's go out here and let's prove to ourselves that we can really compete. I'm not saying that they would go out and win the next game, but you would see them go out and play with a different kind of vigor, a different type of intensity, I think. That's just what I think. I think we could be fringe with this group right here. You might add a couple other veterans in here and there, sprinkled through, but I think you could be a fringe player. The Heat are 31 and 34, right? I think that you could. I could be wrong, but I think that you could if they really said this is what we're going to try to do. Because you just play with it. You play a different kind of game. Your rotation is going to be different. Your rotations will be tighter, right? You're not going to experiment with this player or that player. You're going to say, okay, you know what? I got my top 8. I got my top 9. And this is who I'm rocking with. This is who I'm rolling with. And do it with them.
And Sim, just to add to that, like this is what we talked about in the beginning of the season. And this is why I was against the whole tanking thing, because I feel like if you are a coach, if you're an adequate enough coach, and you have, not saying this team was ultra talented, right? I'm not saying that at all. But if you have a talented enough coach, you can say, all right, I know we're supposed to tank guys, but I would have a me against the world type of mentality with my players. Like, look, the organization wants me to tank. These pundits want me to tank, but I'm not tanking. And I think that you got to know in the playoffs. I think that certain guys would have, a guy like Dennis Smith Jr., if we had Dennis Smith Jr. at the beginning, he's a fiery guy, right? Mm-hmm. You have him with veterans like DJ, and you have a kid like Mitch Robinson who's coming into his own. I think these guys would have eked out enough wins to at least get that. Because it's like, I'm not going to depend on some Zion kid. I'm not dependent on these guys next year. You kind of bring down the morale of the team when it's like, yeah, you guys aren't good enough. We're just going to wait till next year and stack up versus, hey, we're going to fight tooth and nail every game. When guys come in here, we're going to foul hard. We're going to play hard. We're going to rebound hard. We're going to play good defense. And let's see where it gets. And I put money on it. You're going to have guys who would be playing their butts off. I'm sorry. You're going to get that. But when you tell guys, hey, we are tanking, I am tweaking these lineups because we are tanking. Right. I don't have faith in you guys. I'm hoping for one of these free agents. Then why would these guys want to play up? Why would they feel invigorated to play these guys? So I thought Fizdale took the wrong way. I think that, yes, you could tank, but if you are good enough, if you are that good of a coach, you don't need to tank and hope that Zion comes. You could draft whoever who's going to come. The free agent's going to look at it like, oh, crap, Fizdale actually has a team, a system, a culture. I actually want to play for that team. I want to play with those guys because I see it. They were supposed to have 10 wins, and they got 40 wins in the playoffs. Nah, I got to go play with that team, man. That's something is brewing with that Fizdale guy. So that's how I look at it. But it is what it is. People want to tank for Zion like he's Jesus Christ, but whatever.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that disagree with us in the YouTube chat. I get it because they see right now that we're not winning with the team right now. But when you don't have anything to play for, it's like going out and playing a pickup game. Right? You don't care if you win or you lose. You're out there playing a pickup game. You don't care if you win or you lose. You're just out there to have a good time, get in shape, get some exercise in, laugh and joke with your friends. Right?
Yeah.
So you
also
play differently.
Also the sacrifice, too. When you think about certain plays, look how much this guy Moutier's development has actually been stunted if you think about it, Sim, because earlier in the season, he was actually facilitating a lot more. I mean, he was scared to score, but he was looking to facilitate a lot more. I think once he got that, hey, they're not really depending on me. They're not really caring about my development per se. It's, hey, we're tanking for the future. You see, he attempts to score a lot more versus facilitate, right? Like, I'm not going crazy. I've seen this with Moutier. So it's like we stunt some of these guys' growth because look at how many guys we have on this team who are former first-round draft picks. Former first-round draft picks that maybe you can unearth a gem. Look at Buddy Hield. Everybody wrote off Buddy Hield. Now this guy's in the three-point contest. He's one of the top three-point scorers in the league, and they have a resurgent Kings team. Yeah. That's a resurgent Kings team that's led by De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. That's not a team you look at and say, oh, yeah, they were going to make the playoffs. I don't think anyone had to make it in the playoffs in the beginning of the season, and look where they are now. So I just look at it like I'm more into what I have. I want to develop that, and let's see where it goes. I don't want to be too dependent on the future and put all my chips there. But now you're stunting guys' growth. Now guys just want to get it for this because a lot of these guys are one-year contracts. They're not going to sacrifice more, show other aspects of their game outside of scoring because I got to score and get my numbers up and just get that contract, screw the Knicks or whoever, blah, blah, blah. I got to look out for mine versus, oh, I'm playing in a system. I might have a space for next year. Let me expand my game, outside of just scoring, outside of what I'm so-called known for. And you might get a better player. You might get Buddy Hield. You might get some of these reclamation projects you got out there. We have enough plays where that can happen. But, like you said, if it's a pick a game and I'm just got looking for my career, I score as many as I can and.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like out there. It just looks like, they're playing a pickup game. If you win. Look, if you play a pickup game, right? And at first, you're out there playing a pickup game. You just play. You're having a good time. You're having some fun. You run up. You're working hard, but not that hard. Sometimes the game gets a little intense. Maybe towards the end, it gets a little intense. But now put some money on the line and see how much different those guys look out there on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And see how much different they look out on the floor. And that's what it reminds me of right now. You know what I'm saying? Right now there's no purpose. For the players, there's no purpose.
There's no purpose, no fire, too. Remember that little thing that happened with Simmons when DSJ got into a little spout match with Simmons?
Yeah.
And he also got into another spout match with another point guard. I can't remember. And it's like when he got into a spout match with Simmons, it's like everybody was just kind of like, his own team was kind of like pushing him away, like, just calm down. I'm waiting for somebody to get in Simmons' face like, yeah, what you going to do? Like, we don't even have that fight. We don't have guys who are like, yo, nah, you ain't going to talk to my play like that. Like, go on, like, go do whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you get in my player's face, I'm going to get in your face. We don't have anything like that. That's why I gravitate towards Dennis Smith Jr. because I feel like if we had that type of culture, he's such a fiery player. Like, he's like a guy, he's like a kid who wants to just be loved and belong to some type of team, some organization that's going to carry him and be like, yo, we got you, let's develop you. And I feel like he has that in him, but it's like, you come to the Knicks and you got guys who are just like, oh, yeah, put your head down. They're going to, have highlights and whatever. I feel like Desmond Jr. is the only guy on this team who, if the team was doing all these dunks, whatever, he'd take a cheap shot just to save face with something for this team, like some type of integrity, man.
He probably would. He probably would. Yeah. Let me get to Mark.
Yo, Mark, send come to you.
Yeah. As long as his internet is working, Mark. As long as his internet is working, take down all your. Everything you have in your browsers, Mark, take it down. All right, take down everything in your browsers. Mark,
what's good, man?
What's going on, bro?
Coolin', man. I'm chilling. How's your Saturday?
The Saturday is good, man. I'm chilling right now. I'm a little tired. I didn't get no sleep last night, but I like today's game. Today's game was cool.
Look,
it was a good matinee game.
I thought you said you took naps. You told me the other day. You said, "Sim, you got to take naps."
Yeah, I didn't get no sleep last night, bro.
It's 4:30. You ain't take no naps today?
Nah, man. I just been up, man. So I might take a nap later. But I'm up though. But How was your Saturday? How do you appreciate the game today?
I mean, I enjoy, it was an entertaining game. I enjoyed it.
Low key, I wanted to win tonight.
Game. I wanted to win. I wanted to win. Of course, I wanted to win, but it was a fun game to watch, though.
Especially when we come back, that's when I want us to win. If we get smoke. But I like when we come back. That's when I want to get the win. If we come back strong. But, Darren Fox was out there being a guard.
Yeah, he cooked us.
He cooked us.
He definitely
Jesus Christ.
I want to talk about Money Making Mitch with you, Mark.
Yeah, listen, man.
Money Making Mitch. That's what I want to talk about, baby. Money Making Mitch.
Listen, man, what I said before the beginning of the season, man, like something about him, it breathes star to me. I'm sorry. It is something about this kid. He is going to progress. The way he progresses it's nuts. It's nuts. It goes game by game where his confidence is just oozing right now.
Yeah.
Oozing right now. There was some plays where he's running down the court and asking for the ball.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to score now.
And he's barking at people, right?
Yes.
If you're letting your player just walk down, get down the lane, and I gotta now go make this block, and I might get a foul. He's barking at people. His confidence is brewing.
Sam, let me tell you something. He's from New Orleans, so he don't play that. Let me tell y'all something. This kid was a lottery pick. He was the second best big man coming out to Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
This was a fact.
Mm-hmm.
We got ourselves a steal in the draft. Y'all don't understand. That night, we stole something. We stole something good. And it's showing every game, man. He's keeping my TV on.
Money Making Mitch. Money Making Mitch. He, as you all probably know, I'm sure you've read it, Mitch Robinson.
He just signed some deals. When I seen that, I said, okay.
He signed some deals. But, Mitch Robinson. So check it out. Hold on. 1 second.
Yeah.
You can read it in Forbes. You can read it in Forbes magazine. Right? This talks about Mitch Robinson's, the deals that he signed. So, he signed a deal with Nike. Right? He signed a deal with Nike. He signed a deal with Mercedes-Benz. All right. He also signed a deal with RX,
with Vans,
RX Water, whatever it is, and then there's another place. Hotel,
Vans,
Choice Hotel.
Oh my God,
Choice Hotel. I don't know if he's with He's with Vans.
No, he's with Vans, bro. I seen it. Vans sent him some stuff.
They might have sent him some stuff. I don't know if that means that he signed with them, because I don't know if Nike's gonna let him sign with Vans, because they don't totally compete, but in some worlds they do compete. Like skateboarding and stuff, they might compete a little bit.
But that Nike deal that he got sent, he got like that Ben Simmons Nike deal. Like if something pop off with this kid, he might end up, if he becomes what I think he becomes, he's gonna have one of them Nike deals where he possibly could get a signature shoe if he blows up. That's the type of Nike deal that he signed. He didn't sign one of those regular Nike deals.
So he has a contract with RX Water. He has a contract with Mercedes-Benz, and he also has a contract with Choice Hotels, the Cambria Suites. Listen, you remember, listen, he made a really good move. When he first came into the NBA, he fired his agent and picked up a new agent, because he didn't like the way his agent, whatever happened, he didn't like it. Right?
Smart.
So his current agent, this is what he says. His current agent says, and I can't even pronounce his current agent's name.
Don't even matter.
Mayar Zokai, I think, something like that. Mayar Zokai. He says, I feel as though I represent the best player from the 2018 NBA draft class, and I let that belief dictate the pursuit of endorsement deals for Mitchell. And it's becoming more and more obvious that brands out there are realizing the same thing. Big shout out, man. Big shout out to Mitchell Robinson for being a second-round pick. And we all know, we all know that he was projected to be, if he would have played in college,
he was a top 10 easily.
But big shout out for him for sticking with it. Even though he didn't play a lick of college basketball. He stuck with it, worked out over, his time off, and now he's in the NBA, and now he's got some endorsement deals, making some serious money. I mean, that's.
I want to shout out to Scott Perry because that deal that he's on right now is like a buffer zone, because if he even becomes any side of great at that, we're going to have him for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now he's signed for, what's he signed for right now?
6.4.
Let me see what he's signed for right now. I'm not sure exactly what
6.4 for 4 years. I think he's getting a little over 1.5 a year.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up right now and tell you what Mitchell Robinson, what his salary is like now for the New York Knicks. Mitchell Robinson right now,
he's making dirt.
Is 1.4 this year, 1.5 next year, 1.6 2020-21. Now, when you get to 2020-21, it's a team option for 2021 and a team option for 21-22.
Oh, God.
Right? So it's a beautiful deal for the New York Knicks. I mean, if by next year or by 2020, next year I expect that, I don't know if he's going to get 30 minutes a game, but, he's going to be a lot more comfortable. He may get close 28, 29 minutes a game. Right now, he's 24, 25 minutes a game, 28, 29 minutes a game. By 2020-21, he should be the bona fide starting center.
Like I said, I tell everybody, give him 3 to 4 years to get his body. His body is what he needs to work on. That is it. And once he get that body, you're going to see him everywhere.
Yeah, that's the key. Once he gets that body, and he doesn't have to get big, right? He just has to get stronger.
No.
Just has to get stronger. And once
he needs some mass, though. He need a little mass on him.
I don't know.
He got to get a little bigger.
Maybe. I don't know if it's totally necessary. Kevin Garnett didn't have that kind of mass on him. You know what I mean?
But he's his skill set is a little different from his.
It's true. But
he's gonna need pounding body, bro.
It's the strength, though. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta have like massive muscles to be strong. You know what I'm saying? You can still have strength and not be.
I said I would like him to get as big as Anthony Davis is.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's exactly how I see him. When you look at his physique and everything, that's how it looks.
That'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? He's got wide shoulders, so he's definitely going to fill out. He's going to fill out because he's got wide shoulders. But it's a very, very team-friendly contract. And if he plays to, his potential.
Oh, God.
If he plays to his potential, by the time, when that 2021, 2022 season is over, the Knicks will have to pay him. But he should be worth it. He should be
He'll probably get 15 to 18.
He should be worth it. Yeah. Yeah. So big shout out to
He's worth it now.
Mitch. Again, if you don't know, Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. Mitchell Robinson is becoming a star on and off the court.
Bro, when I seen him sign those deals.
Yeah. And it does not hurt that he's playing in New York, man, that he's playing in New York, because that really does help to raise his profile so that, places want to. Because listen, he could be playing in like Sacramento and doing this. And because he's not a super duper big name yet, maybe he will be one day. But because he's not a super duper big name, those places might have said, we'll wait and see what happens. But because he's playing in New York, and it's not going to be like this for every player, right? If you're Kevin Durant, it don't matter where you play. If you're Kyrie Irving, it doesn't matter where you play. For someone like Mitchell Robinson, it would matter. And it's really helping him out that he's playing in New York and getting these kind of marketing deals, because places know that, even though the Knicks are garbage, the Garden's still selling out. There's Knicks fans on Twitter. There's Knicks fans on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook that are all still arguing and following the Knicks and have a big love for Mitchell Robinson.
He got that Nike. He got that real Nike deal. He got that I'm gonna get a signature shoe if I become big Nike deal. And Nike do not give those out. The only two people they gave those out to right now is Ben Simmons and Giannis. And Giannis coming out with a signature next year. Nike don't give those deals out.
Well, I mean, I think most players, though, when they sign a deal, there's a potential there that if they become really, really good, they can get a signature shoe.
No, Sam. Nope. It's a very prestige thing with Nike. They give people Nike deals.
No, but this is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you give every player a signature deal. What I'm saying is it would not be to the benefit of Nike to not put in every player's contract that signs with them that if you become a certain level of player, we'll give you a signature shoe. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make no sense for them not to do that.
But for Nike to go after Mitchell Robinson out of all of the talent in the NBA.
For Nike to go after a big man, because they usually don't go after big men. Nike usually goes after guards. How many big men are signed with Nike like that?
Only AD is the only big man, and I think Charles Barkley's still on it. All of them are old people still on it.
You know, they kind of go after guards, and for them to go after a big man, and that play like Mitchell Robinson, they see the potential for him to for the lobs, for him to be a dominant in the pick and roll. Blocks.
When he was calling for the ball today,
I mean, I think he's one of the only players. I think it's Shaquille O'Neal and Kevin Garnett. If he ends the season shooting 70% from the field, to shoot over 70% from the field in his rookie season, so that's some nice company to have your name around. Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Garnett. Big shout out to Mitch Robinson, man. Big shout out to Mitch Robinson. I mean, that's big work. Scott Perry, like you said, Scott Perry and them guys put in big work. Getting Alonzo Trier, and I don't know if you guys know the story, right? But Trier, Scott Perry had spoken to Trier. They
promised him.
Yeah, they promised Alonzo Trier that they were going to draft him in that second round. And then when it got to that second round and Mitchell Robinson was still available, they called him and said, sorry, we decided we're going to go big first. Right? And luckily, Trier was still there where they could just sign him to a deal as an undrafted rookie.
And what's so funny, Mitch was supposed to go 24. The Lakers end up taking Mo Wagner over him.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
We talk about. I'm just gonna throw this out there real quick. Right, we talk about Kevin Durant, right? Just throw this out there real quick. Just
I'm starting to be scared.
I know, but Kevin Durant went to Golden State. Why? What was one of the big reasons he went to Golden State?
Nike told him. That was part of it too.
But what was one of the big reasons he said that he was going to Golden State?
Oh, the way they play. It's the way they play, and then he don't have to. I always say, like him and LeBron, they needed guys that they need a buffer zone. They need like a buffer where it's not all on them, because it's not all on Kevin Durant right now as they play. If you watch Golden State for the last 4 years, so he always needed that to be great. The same thing for LeBron. That's why he went to play with D Wade, because he didn't know how to win yet. And then when he left Miami, that's when he said, "Okay, I'm a leader now."
Yeah. But he also went to Golden State because he wanted to play with friends, people that he liked being around, right?
And a point guard.
And if that's part of what he factored into going to a team. And I'm not saying anything. I just know this. We all know that DeAndre Jordan and Kevin Durant are really good friends, like best friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best friends. Alonzo Trier, Kevin Durant are friends. Also, Alonzo Trier's family and DeAndre Jordan's family are friends.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're friends.
Hey, Michelle.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's take it or leave it. That puts a nice little circle where Kevin Durant is like, okay, you know what? We got a little crew here. You never know. I'm just saying. That's all. I'm just saying.
I'm just scared of his personality.
And then, of course, Scott Perry and Kevin Durant's manager, friends, you know.
Scott Perry might get him through the door. Like, he's the person who's going to get him through the door.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think if he was here, I don't think he would have walked through the door.
Yeah, I mean, that took me by shock too. I didn't know either that you know.
Yeah, Scott Perry drafted him.
You know that Zoe's people and DeAndre Jordan's people are friends as well. So
yeah, I didn't know that. That's remarkable.
You know, so that puts Kevin Durant in a comfortable situation. That's all I'll say about that. It puts him in a comfortable situation, knowing that you got peoples there. You know, so we'll see what happens.
When you watch him now, he wants to be the man. Like, he wants to be talked about how LeBron is talked about.
Yeah.
That's where he's at right now. He want to be talked about as the best right now. And I think if he comes to New York, he will get that instantly. The world will be on his shoulders.
Yeah. But back to Money Making Mitch. That's my new name for him. Money Making Mitch.
You deserve it, man. You out here like paying in full right now.
Yeah, Money Making Mitch. Will he develop a jump shot? I think that's got to be part of his. Okay, I'm seeing things from him that I haven't seen earlier in the season as far as him demanding the ball in the middle of the paint. And, you know, I'm going to tell you where he's getting that from. He's getting that from DeAndre Jordan. I don't. People can say
this is a good topic, too, because I want to hop on Knox, too.
Okay. People can say whatever they want. He's getting that from DeAndre Jordan. You see DeAndre Jordan, you know, he'll come down and bam, he'll turn and post right in the center of the paint. And he's the biggest target.
Right? Hold on. You know what he does well? He runs straight in the middle.
Who?
Runs straight in Mitchell. Yes. That's why when he's causing problems on offense where the teams have to watch where he's at, he's running straight in the middle, what Shaq used to do. When you're a big man, you're supposed to run straight in the middle to get the ball. Right. And that puts pressure on the defense. But see, I think he's doing that right now.
But I think he's learning a lot of this stuff from DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, because DeAndre does it too.
These things he wasn't doing before DeAndre Jordan was here. Running straight down the center of the floor on a fast break. He wasn't doing that. Posting up right in the center of the floor. You seen DeAndre. We knew what DeAndre Jordan could do. And DeAndre Jordan wasn't a post player when he came into the league. He was straight alley-oop. Doc Rivers worked with him, taught him how to become a post player. Right? Now you see DeAndre Jordan here, bam, straight up post in the center of the floor, the biggest target. Right? Now you see Mitchell Robinson doing the same thing, except Mitchell Robinson is taller. And when he gets that strength, he'll be unstoppable when he posts up in the center of the floor that way.
Oh,
those are some things we're seeing from him. And, I mean, really big shout out to DeAndre Jordan, too, because I think I see Mitchell Robinson picking up a lot of things that DeAndre Jordan is doing. The barking at players. He wasn't doing that before DeAndre Jordan got here. But
shout out to Fitz for throwing him in the fire, like I said in the beginning of the season, throwing him in the fire.
Yeah, but DeAndre Jordan does. He came in barking at players about defense. Now you see Mitchell Robinson doing it. It's like Mitchell Robinson is looking at him like, this is who I'm going to be and maybe even better in the next 4 years. So I'm going to follow this guy. Like, this guy has the same exact story as me. He became an all-star. I can become that and more. I think he's seeing that. DeAndre Jordan was perfect for Mitchell Robinson. And you know, regardless of what you think about the KP trade, he may be an unsung hero in that trade, even if he's not around for a long time, just because of the way he's mentoring Mitchell Robinson and helping Mitchell Robinson to become an NBA player. DeAndre Jordan really might be an unsung hero in that trade, because what he might help Mitchell Robinson to become, a lot of it is going to be due to DeAndre Jordan. I really feel that way.
Bro, like, I don't know what to do, is to cry or feel good, because I just feel great about him. Good. Like, I feel so great about him.
Just feel good. Just feel good about it. Just feel good about it, man. So go ahead. What you want to say about Knox? I already know what you're going to say. What you want to say?
No, wait, hold on. No, because I'm coming in positive with the kid.
Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead.
And this is due to our point guard play and what I've been seeing and why he shoots bad or why he's taking shots the way he's taking them. I'm watching him, right? So I said, what I don't think Fizz is telling him, but there's 3 things he needs to do right now for him to be a little steady and for people to like believe in him. He has to be able to run the floor, grab a rebound, and spot up right now. I think those 3 things he should be doing right now, like constantly in the game. I don't want to see him do nothing else but those 3 things. But due to our point guard
spot
play,
up from 3, spot up from 3.
Yes, spot up from 3.
Yo, he be shooting some plankers from the 3 sometimes, though, man. Sometimes, I mean, he'll be wide open and just smack it off the backboard. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, but you want him to get those repetitions because he don't have the handle to get to where he really want to get to. That's something you got to work on next year.
Right.
But due to our point guard play,
well, you know what I'm gonna say about that. I think it's not just the handle. I think it's also the strength.
Yeah, but no, his handle's suspect, Sim. He only dribbles with one hand. It's really bad.
His handle's okay to be 19 years old in the NBA. I think his handle's okay. I'm not worried about that. He's not a guard, right?
Yeah, but for him to score, he has to have elite handle. So right now, he doesn't have handle.
But look, he can get the ball. He can get it off the rim and go full court with it. But if you see him when he has the ball, no one's taking it from him. He'll penetrate, but he doesn't have the strength to body by anyone, and sometimes not the speed to body by.
I'm speaking on if I'm speaking off when the play goes bad and then he's the one with the ball and he's trying to make something happen.
Well, he doesn't have those moves yet. He doesn't have defined moves.
And that's why I said he doesn't have that.
He doesn't have the defined moves to like pop and break it down. Now he doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, and you have to have handle to have those moves.
He'll get it, but he doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, I was watching our point guard play, and what's really bothering me? We have guards, right, that when they're willing to pass the ball, it's like emergency passing. It's like last resort passing, and it don't look good for our offense. And anytime Moutier come in and Dennis Smith, they do emergency passing, and it's not going to work for the type of players that we have because they need our point guard play for them to be a little more effective with the ball. Mm-hmm. So that's where I am with Knox. Like, I'm not down on him because he can shoot the ball if the ball is landing in his hand properly. But we don't have those. Like I said, Dennis Smith is a 2 guard to me, and I'm going to continue to keep harping on that. I'm going to continue because it showed you today. The way De'Aaron Fox controlled the last 5 minutes of the game, that's what a point guard looks like. And how he got to his spots, that's what a point guard looks like. And I just think Dennis Smith is just a 2 guard masquerading in a point guard's body.
Well,
and it's been like that since college.
Yeah, he's Stevie franchise.
Like I said, and with Moutier know he's gone because we can't pay him that because he'll be dipping into the royalties, and we can't have that.
Right.
So he's just out here looking for another contract there somewhere. He might get it, but sorry guys.
Yeah.
I would keep Dennis Smith. I will keep him for now.
Well, let's put it like this: depending on what happens in the draft, and depending on what happens in the draft and free agency, he may end up being our best option at point guard.
Yeah, honestly, I really want to talk to some teams like Phoenix.
But you know what? But this is my thing. I see him working towards it and trying. Right?
Yeah,
now, he doesn't have the natural instinct or the natural inclination to just
that is my problem.
I'm going to run this team and I'll get mine when it's necessary. I'll pick and choose my spots and get mine. He doesn't have that naturally. If you could mix Frank and Dennis Smith Jr. together, you probably had the perfect young point guard, right? He doesn't have that natural inclination to do that right now.
I think too, when I'm seeing with the Knicks offense too, a lot of the corner threes are wide open. I'm starting to see lately. I'm watching Lance get a lot of wide open shots.
I mean, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Give me a second, Mark. Give me a second. I want to give a shout out right quick. I want to give a shout out to Mighty Knicks. He said, when will y'all admit that he's right about Fizdale and Dennis Smith Jr.? And then Chester, Chetnik Nason, big shout out to Chester. He said, Whose Mark is right. Our point guards bad. Our point guards are bad at setting up passes. Yeah. And Chester, I want to ask you a question. Are you an actor, Chester? If you guys get a chance, look, if you guys get a chance, watch the movie on HBO OG. It's with Jeffrey Wright. It's about, this guy who's in prison. He's about to get out in a week, and he's trying to help save this young dude that just came into prison. And he works in the auto body shop. And there's an old white man in there in the auto body shop, got a long white beard, white hair. I looked at him, I was like, yo, that's Chester.
That's Chester with the glasses.
Chester that comes to the game.
Yeah, now I know who Chester. Now I know you talking about what Chester you talking about.
I looked at him, I was like, yo, that looks like Chester.
Oh, that's my dude. What's up, Chester?
You know what I'm saying? But so Chester, let me know. Are you an actor? Are you just, you look just like that dude. If you get a chance, watch it. You look just like the dude. But anyway, back to business. Let's before we move any forward, I want to see what some of these other guys got to say. About money making Mitch, Kevin Knox, and everyone. I'm gonna come to Andy. I haven't heard from Andy in a minute. Andy, you there? You there, Andy? Look like Andy froze. So Andy's not there. And this might be
Andy from Europe.
Oh, that's Aunt G. C-Dog, how you feel about money making Mitch?
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
How you think? How you feeling about money making Mitch, man? He got those contracts.
How do I feel about him getting his contract?
No, I mean, just how you feeling about him? You feeling good about him? He got those contracts. He signed some new contracts. Let me ask you this: do you think he's going to be able to develop a jump shot?
Yeah, why not? He'll be able to. I mean, he could. How many feet we talking about? Him shooting from?
At least from the elbow. We need him to at least.
The elbow, huh?
Yeah, we need him to at least hit shots from the elbow.
How about working on some low post moves? You try to stretch him outside.
Yeah, he needs to work on some low post moves, but I see him starting to do that a little bit, right? We were just talking about that. I see him posting up in the middle of the floor. I think in order for him to be...
10 feet all the way around, maybe 15 feet. You trying to stretch him all the way out to the elbow. He don't need to be out there.
I don't know.
Let him dominate down low.
Yeah, but I think in today's NBA, you got to be able to at least, be able to hit from the elbow, because he's going to get the ball at the elbow. If we want to be able to use him the way that you can really use him, sometimes, if he's running a screen and roll high, a high screen and roll at the top of the key, sometimes he may just pop to the elbow, right? Also, we've seen earlier in the season, teams would give him the ball there at the elbow, and his defensive player way up. And what's that doing? That's cutting off those driving lanes for the guards. I think if he can, knock down that elbow shot, it may not be something that he does all the time, but if he can knock down that elbow shot, then, I think it's going to open up the driving lanes for our guards, and it makes them just that much more of a threat. Doesn't mean,
Andre Drummond doesn't shoot from the outside, and he's an all-star.
Yeah, he's an all-star, but his team is just all right, too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that, not just about him being an all-star, because he can definitely be an all-star if he, which he will average a double-double in the future. If he
I'm talking about Andre Drummond is more than just a double-double. He's an all-star.
I mean, that's what I'm saying about Mitchell Robinson. He can average a double-double and put himself in the all-star running. But I think, for your team, you also got to be able to do things that's going to help the rest of your team, be good and open up passing lanes and things like that. That's one of the things with DeAndre Jordan. While he was an all-star, he never developed a shot where he can at least shoot from that elbow. You know what I'm saying?
What about Shaq?
That closes off pass. Shaq is a different specimen, though.
Keep your butt down low. That's what Shaq is. Big men, keep your butt down low.
Right. Dominate. But this is a different game. I think this is a different game today, though. Yeah, I think your big
That's
man got to be
different.
able to.
The name of the game is to outscore your opponent.
Right.
Ain't nothing changed.
But right, exactly. But being able to shoot from the elbow allows you to outscore your opponent, though. It'll allow penetration and slashing lanes. You know what I'm saying? Because if he catches the ball at the elbow, I think that if he catches the ball, you can only keep him. You can only keep Mitchell Robinson maybe in the corner a little bit, but down along, you can only keep him inside on offense. So now you can't move him out the way to open up those lanes so that guys can penetrate. If he can at least hit from the elbow, you can help open up some of those lanes so that Dennis Smith Jr. or maybe or whomever is coming in the future, so that they can penetrate into the basket. I think that's important.
Sam, if Mitchell was down low, who is going to leave Mitchell's man to come help out when you know that lob is only a second away?
But what I'm saying is, when Mitchell is down low, you have a shot block.
They're going to be scared to leave their man or to leave Mitch.
But you potentially have a shot blocker down low that's going to erase everything that you can do down there.
As soon as he takes one step, you throw the ball right by his ear. That's what guards are supposed to be able to do.
Yeah, but that may not always.
When the help comes, the ball is supposed to whiz right by his ear.
Right, but it may not always happen that way. It happens like that a lot. It may not always happen that way. You know what I'm saying?
You got to make it happen.
And then, but when you
drive, if that dude takes a step or two your way, you already know where the ball is going.
When you have someone that can step outside and shoot a little bit, you can shoot. I mean, you said 10 feet. The free throw line, the elbow is just 15 feet, right?
That's right. That's why I said 10. Now we got to start slow.
Right. I mean, that's still in the lane. Where I think
I know what I said.
If he's not leaving outside that lane, I don't know. I just think it bunches it up in there. If you have somebody that can open it up, the game is just different. If you have someone if he can move out to that elbow, right?
So you think that
you pull that big guy out.
If they play four guys out on the arc, that's a lane for one guy all the way to the basket with no help. That's not realistic. There's always somebody waiting for you.
I mean, there's somebody waiting for you, but it may not be a 7-footer, right? I mean, if you're talking, just go back and watch some of the games when they tried to get Mitchell Robinson, like they had him, and they still do it, right? Where sometimes he's handing the ball off at the top of the key. His defender dropped way down into the paint. That cuts off all your passing lanes.
Now, if he was down low,
lanes,
posting up. If the dude drove, whoever it was, and the hungry center tried to come over and block the shot, you could dish it off to Mitch for the damn dunk or the pass or whatever.
I mean you can, but it may not always happen that way, because once it starts happening a lot, now you're gonna get a help side person that's helping the helper.
Then you skip it over to the corner. There's always a counter for any move.
Right. There is a counter, but I'm telling you, if you can get him to be able to, he can shoot free throws. Why can't he? He can shoot free throws.
I know he can.
Right? So maybe he
could shoot a jumper. We don't know that yet.
Yeah, I
think he shot one jumper all year.
One jumper, and it was an air ball.
It was air ball? Wow.
I remember that. He shot one jumper from the elbow, and it was an air ball. But he can shoot free throws, so I think it's possible for him to be able to shoot from 15 feet. And if he can do that, now he'll be able to do both. You can put him down low a little bit. You can bring him up, or he can shoot from the elbow. You better do both.
I think. Now, I'm not going to lie. Being able to shoot will open up a person game, but it ain't necessary for a guard that to get a driving lane. You can get a driving lane just by beating your man and seeing the help come, and then you dish it off.
It's true, but I think
that's how you get 12 assists a game.
I mean, I look at the best teams. They got players all over the court that can shoot from at least that free throw, that elbow. You know what I'm saying?
Now think about it. De'Aaron Fox was getting to the basket all day, and Willie Cauley-Stein can't shoot from outside at all.
He doesn't, but he at least has the form. He can at least hit the rim. If he has to shoot the ball from the free throw from the elbow, he can shoot it.
Yeah, but he ain't out there. He was down low all game while De'Aaron Fox was driving to the basket.
But most of the times when De'Aaron Fox did drive to the basket, you had You had Harrison Barnes in there.
Yeah, that's a forward.
You know,
and
yeah, I mean, you had Harrison Barnes without Willie Cauley-Stein in there. You know what I'm saying? They played a little bit smaller because you know, Harrison Barnes can pull them out a little bit. You know, open up.
Okay, so play smaller and take Money Mitch out the game and throw a forward in there that can stretch it if you want to do that.
You can. I mean, yeah, you can do that. But I think if you want to have that shot blocking ability and you want to take advantage of his lobs, if he can develop that elbow shot, at least. I don't need him out by the 3-point line. I'm not worried about that. You know, Anthony Davis can do that. Not worried about Mitchell Robinson doing that. Although, you know, when he first got drafted, everyone showed him out there shooting threes. I was like, yeah, we'll see. Right? I don't think he shot. I don't think he shot one three.
Hey, when the summer ends, whenever the season ends, his homework assignment to be shooting 1,000 shots every day.
That's
lifting weight.
Lifting weight, shooting shots, working on that post game.
Right. That's what he should be doing. Shooting, getting up 1,000 shots and lifting weight. Get stronger.
How much weight do you think he should put on over the summer? Do you think he should try?
You don't have to put on none. You just need to get stronger. But he can get up to 250.
Not
he
weight,
weighs 240
not
now.
Weight, but muscle. You know what I'm saying? How much weight and muscle mass do you think he should put on to become back stronger? What do you think their goal will be this summer?
Man, if he could put on 5 pounds or 6 pounds of muscle and get up to 25, that's the start.
Okay.
I don't think you could gain 10 pounds in the summer and be effective. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, because I agree with you. I don't think, you know, you should not try to like force weight onto a player because I think that'll slow him up. He won't be as athletic. You got to let it go naturally. You lift the weights, let it go naturally. 5 pounds would be good.
How old is Mitch? He's 19, right?
Mitch, I think he's 20.
He's 20?
I think
All right.
so.
I know when I was 20, I was 10.
Yeah.
You're going to gain weight naturally as you get older.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's muscle.
Muscle, right. That's the thing. You want to gain muscle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me come over to Andy, see what Andy thinks. Then we're going to talk about Frank. Andy, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up?
What do you think? Money Mitch, what's he got to do over the summer? What do you think he's got to do over the summer to take his game to the next level?
From the shots, I think the elbow free throw line ended. But at this point, maybe in a couple of years, maybe. And I don't like my centers taking those side shots like from the back from the end line. So he shouldn't be looking from those shots. Never for me.
Right. I feel you. Let me ask you. We've seen articles about Frank Ntilikina, and I'm gonna come to Angie. I'm gonna come to you, Angie, in a minute.
Nah, you went off.
You still there, Andy?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't want to hear those reports even.
Yeah,
I'm such a huge Frank fan. I don't want to hear them.
So, and I think in the New York Post yesterday, right, they said there's draft night whispers, and Jason Kidd hint, right, that Frank Ntilikina's future with the Knicks is fading. All right, now what they're saying about Jason Kidd is they're saying because Jason Kidd only met with Emmanuel Mudiay and Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina was like 15 yards away and he didn't meet with Frank Ntilikina, that his future with the Knicks is over or it's fading, and that he may be a draft night, they may be negotiating with teams on draft night to trade him, if not in an Anthony Davis trade, then for a first round draft pick, possibly. Or a draft pick.
Yeah.
What do you think?
First thing when I saw the picture that only Mudiay and Dennis Smith was around Jason Kidd, I was thinking tomorrow we're gonna have notes exactly like this, that Frank is gonna be traded because he didn't speak with the guests that Fizz took inside the practice and stuff like that. So, in New York media, everything's gonna be blown out of proportion. Right. So I'm just thinking, and the thing that Fizz even said today before the game, that Frank is like, practicing with the team, but non-contact drills and stuff like that. So maybe it was like only a second that Jason Kidd was talking to them. Maybe they went to the dinner with he went to the dinner with the whole team to talk with everyone, not only the point guards and stuff like that. But this is New York. Everything, every photo, with the wrong shot is gonna put some people in the right position and some in the wrong one. So
right, and that's how it always happens in New York, right? There's always going to be, always going to be some noise about somebody being traded because of something really silly. I would be highly disappointed if the Knicks just give up on them.
Now, I would be really pissed. Really pissed.
I do understand if something major comes along that they feel like they just can't give up on, right? And he's a piece of it. I get it, but I would be upset if they just give up on him.
Yeah, but what's something major from a draft pick? You think lottery team is going to take him? I don't think so.
No.
And who can the Knicks target in the lottery, down low, because nobody's going to take the trade off top 5 pick for Frank.
Yeah, his stock is too low. His stock is too low right now. For to get a first round draft pick for him, his stock is too low. What would happen is they would trade him, and they would get a second round draft pick, or they would include him in the package, to get another player. And then he'd go wherever. I'm going to say this. I don't want to see Frank Ntilikina get traded. I want to see what he can blossom to. But I said it a long time ago that as long as David Fizdale is the coach, I do not think that Ntilikina is going to become the player that he'll become in New York. It'll be elsewhere. If he does get traded, not going to lie, if he gets traded, I want to see him go to Dallas. That's where I want to see him go if he gets traded. I don't know what we would get back or whatever. I don't know. I haven't looked at all that. I'm just speaking out of what I would like to see basketball-wise. If he got traded, I'd like to see him go to Dallas. And
I think he can flourish in a really hard system-based basketball program.
Exactly.
He was drafted by Phil, and I think European players really, just like Frank, and even in Europe, he was playing in a really hard system game. So he just had so many options. He had to go run to this point, that point, nothing more, nothing less. And he was waiting for his occasion to, take a shot or drive or, do the stuff.
Yeah.
So this freelancing basketball really isn't, Frank's strength. So really, I think if he would go to a San Antonio type, Popovich or something like that, Pop would be having a Christmas present early.
Yeah. It's not for him at all, the freelance basketball. And that's the reason why I don't think that he's going to make it here in New York. I don't think it's going to make it in New York.
Yeah, unless Fizdale already designated him to be a small forward.
Yeah,
that's why he didn't speak with his Jason Kidd.
That could be. He's like, you know what? He's not going to be a point guard. He's going to be a small forward. But if Frank is done in New York, and he's going to get traded, I'd like to see him go to Dallas, play with KP and Luka, and see how that works out. I think that to me is the perfect fit for Frank Ntilikina, right? Luka's going to be the primary ball handler. He doesn't have to worry about handling the ball. He doesn't have to worry about being a scorer. The only thing he has to do is worry about playing defense, knocking down an open shot when it's there. And I know people that say, well, he can't hit shots. He can't knock down shots. It'll come. I wholeheartedly believe that it'll come. And he'll start knocking down shots. All he has to do is average 10 points and 6 assists a game playing over there.
And take the defensive responsibilities of Luka, and that's all.
Yeah, he may do 12, 13 points and 8 assists over there. But that's all that he would have to do. He wouldn't have that kind of pressure, and he can play. I don't want to say that kind of pressure. He wouldn't have those responsibilities. And he can play the style of basketball that he was built to play. That's the kind of, built to play. He could play the style of basketball that he plays up here. That's what he plays up there. And with Rick Carlisle, he'll value that type of basketball. He values that type of basketball.
Exactly.
I'm saying he values it. And I think that he would, he would go, and this is what would be bad for the Knicks, I guess, is if Frank Ntilikina went to Dallas and all of a sudden they had the team that Phil Jackson was trying to build in New York. People would go crazy, in my opinion. People would be really upset. I'm gonna keep you live, and I'm gonna open up Ant G. All right.
Okay.
Ant, what's up, Ant? Yo, Ant, what's poppin', man?
Man?
Hey, talk to me, man. Frank Ntilikina. Do you think he's done in New York?
Yeah, I definitely think he's done. I don't think that report came out by accident. Like stuff like that, like you learn with the NBA, like none of this stuff is by accident. Like when reports and stuff come out, like they come out with a purpose, and someone leaked it for a reason. So I think ever since Dennis Smith Jr. came over, it was the writing on the wall for Frank. I don't want to see him get traded, but if we can net a top 20, top 15 pick in this year's draft for him, I wouldn't be mad at it.
You think
it'd be sad?
You think we can get a top 20 or top 15 draft pick for Frank?
Probably not top 15, but I think we could finagle a top 20, depending on what team it is. Like I don't know how people view him right now in the league. Like during the trade deadline, his name kept coming up. So
I'm gonna tell you everything that I read about Frank Ntilikina is that other GMs don't believe that the Knicks are using them correctly or know how to develop them. That's what I read. That this Knicks team doesn't know what to do with Frank. And I believe it. And I don't know if that's to the detriment, because sometimes you just get players that you're not sure what to do with them, right? Because you have a certain style that you want to play. And so you're not sure what to do with this player or that player. I believe that about Frank. I believe that they're not sure because he's not a freelance player. He's not the kind of guy that just runs up and is going to break down a defense and does that type of stuff. He plays a different type of basketball. So I don't think, I'm just not sure that Fizdale knows what to do with him, or the Knicks know what to do with him. I think someone like Rick Carlisle would know what to do with him, especially playing with KP, playing with Luka. I think it could work for Frank.
But which I think the Knicks are kind of in a bad situation right here, because like, is him staying in New York going to raise his trade value past what it is right now? I don't think so. So either you buy into him, which you can't really do unless you. They gotta. I don't know, man. I don't know how they view Frank. I don't know what they want him to be. I don't know if they want him to be a point guard or a shooting guard. I don't know what they want him to be. But like, you either have to trade him now or buy into him.
Yeah, and I mean, I know. I can say this: Fizdale did say the right thing, though, but he know how to use him. He said he sees Frank as a glue guy that can play multiple positions and can defend multiple positions. He may not be a guy that scores 20 points a game, but he can play defense. So let's see if, whenever Frank comes back, if that's how I think that Fizdale is going to use him. Now, in my opinion, it would be smart to keep him around, right? Because even if he doesn't turn out to be worthy of what people think a 9th pick should be, there's no doubt in my mind. I think that he can be a nice piece in whatever level of a piece he is. He can be a very nice piece on a playoff team. A guy that can come in and play defense, play multiple positions. If you're really in a pinch at the point guard spot, he can play point guard spot for you.
Which is why I wouldn't trade him on draft night. I will wait to see how this free agency shakes out. Because if we get 2 guys, it makes sense to keep them.
Right.
I mean, because then I think he will be valuable on a team where he's only asked to say, come in and just defend and like play a role. I think he may thrive in something like that.
That's where he'll be the best, in my opinion.
And I was thinking earlier, I was like, if Frank was in this draft, where would he get picked? Like, would he be a top 15 pick?
It's hard to say because he would have played another year in Europe as well. So I guess it would have depended on, or he would have played, if he was in this draft, he would have played, another 2 years in Europe, that means. So who knows what he would have been playing another 2 years in Europe. You know,
it's a tough one, man. I don't like giving up on guys that early, but if someone offers something that they like for like another young player, I wouldn't knock him for it.
Okay. Let me see, Andy. I think Andy has something to say. What's up, Andy?
Yeah, because I got disconnected. Sim, I'm gonna tell you why you like, to keep Frank around. You're a coach, and you know that every team needs a guy, and every player loves to play with a player that can defend, doesn't need to take shots. It's a pleasure to play with a guy that doesn't need the ball. He's just gonna go do all the dirty work, even for other guys, and you can just run around and take shots and stuff like that.
Right.
So those players are a treasure. You don't trade those players unless I don't know what you're gonna get it back. But the same thing is with Lance Thomas. Just he's older and stuff like that. But you know what you're getting with Lance. With Frank, he can develop the part of games that you need him to develop. Lance is old horse. You don't teach him new tricks.
Yeah, see, I agree with you 100%. That's what Frank can be. We'll see. We'll see if that's what they have in store for him. If those are the plans. Obviously, those reports that come out are all, it's rumors and secondhand. You hear it secondhand and all that kind of stuff. We'll see. We'll see what they have in store for him. I'm not going to doubt that they call around and see if people want to offer anything for him in a package. I won't doubt that.
That's their job, so they got to do it.
Yeah, that's their job. They got to do it. They got to see. I'm anxious to see when he gets back. I want to see him play with DeAndre Jordan. I want to see him play with the way Mitchell Robinson is playing right now on the defensive end. I want to see him play. Frank, he'll have to get in shape and everything, but it sounds like maybe he's getting closer. Maybe we see him in not the next game, not tomorrow, but maybe we see him in sometime next week. But then he's got to get in shape and come back. Guillermo, I'm gonna come to you, man. I want to know what you think. All right, I'm gonna come to Guillermo. I want to know what you think about it. What do you think, Guillermo? Do you think Frank is done in New York?
Honestly, I probably say yeah, because Fizdale doesn't really have a plan for him. And I really don't know what Fizdale's doing. Unfortunately, I think other GMs and teams know what they would want to do with Frank. Like I said, Frank, is he a two guard? No. Is he an off-ball player? He has time to develop into that. But is Fizdale? But how we're trying to get these free agents and these stars come and play? I'm just not sure where he's going to play, man. But defensively, yeah, he has talent and he has a lot of room to grow. But how we're constituted now with Fizdale and the front office, I think he's as good as done, man. So I mean, I'm still root for him wherever he goes, just because he has a good head on his shoulders, and I think he has talent. I think he's a guy that if he went to a team like the Spurs, I think if he went to even the Toronto Raptors, he'd do well. So. He's a guy that other teams see value in. Too bad we just have I think a short-sighted coach who I personally don't even think is going to be here if we get all these free agents and stuff. I feel like the next coach we get would have loved Frank, because we'll have a team where it's like we need a defensive identity. We need somebody to hound point guards and get turnovers and get us on fast breaks. But I think with Fizdale being here, I think he's as good as done. Because what's his role, Sim? What's his role? When you look at how this team is constituted now, we have a ball-dominant offense where we want point guards to slash and facilitate off the drive. Other than that, where would Frank fit in that? We don't have guys who play off ball enough. KP's gone, so we don't have a superlative player to be like, yo, I play off ball and I prefer to play with a guy. The style of Frank in terms of his mindset. We don't have that. So, yeah, he's as good as done, man.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think that Frank is going to develop into whatever the player that he's going to be here in New York. I think that he'll end up someplace else. And I think if he has a good agent, he'll try to get Frank into a position with someone like a Greg Popovich or Rick Carlisle or someone like that who would understand what to do with Frank. I just think that Fizdale's style of play is totally different than what his mental makeup is, and I just can't see it ever working. I see someone in the chat, Fred Young, I think it was, said that I need to stop babying Frank. I'm not babying Frank. I just don't think that the Knicks or Fizdale, Frank is a player that should have a role. He needs to have a role to know what he's doing. He's not the kind of player that, we're just going to throw a ball out there and let's go. That's not how he was developed as a player, right?
Hey, Sim, can I ask a question to the Frank guy or Yoon or whoever the hell said that? Can someone tell me, for the past 2 years, where was it that you saw that Frank was, like, given a chance to actually grow into what he was? When Hornacek was here, he was put into the 2 guard, despite not being that being his position, and move in and out of the starting lineup with no real rhyme or reason. Hornacek is going, Fizdale comes in. Fizdale comes in, tries to make it more of an off-ball guard, and that doesn't work. So where's the babying? Where are we babying this guy, where we're giving this guy 30, 40-some minutes, we're tailoring a team to his talents, and we're saying, oh, well, he's just not showing enough for us. That's what I'm saying. It's a mindset of the NBA 2K fans, where it's like, oh, we got to stop babying Frank. Again, you're talking about kids who are 18, 19 years old with little coaching coming into the NBA, and you're talking about we're babying guys. And then when they go up to other teams, look what happened with Buddy Hield now. Now everybody, oh, Buddy Hield. But Buddy Hield was written off as a bust his first year. And it comes because now in the so-called world of journalism, we depend more on what fans of NBA 2K think about versus what scouts and actual analysts believe when they see these players. That's why these other GMs are like, yes, give us Frank. We know what Frank is. But you have these, I want to say idiots, I'm not going to curse them out, but you have these 2K fans who say, Frank is not good enough. We should get rid of him because he's not putting up 30 points a night like this player on another team, like Kemba, who's not even in the playoffs. Or who's not even in the 8 seed right now, even though there's only one game out. So it's like, when you guys talk about Frank, we're talking about potential and value and context. Where has Frank been given a chance to actually grow with his team as a point guard with an off-ball system? Tell me. No, he hasn't. So we look at it. And on this Knicks team, honestly, let's be honest. What point guard do we have that's really turned this team around where we're now looking at the playoffs because this point guard came in and changing the team up? So if you can't tell me a point guard who's doing that, a Moutier or even Dennis Smith, who I like a lot, if you can't point that out to me, stop talking. No one's babying Frank. We just see value in him. Y'all be the same guys talking about, yo, we shouldn't have given Frank up too early. When he goes off to a team like the Raptors, or that actually allows their players to play, like Siakam or Pascal Siakam and the other guy, I can't remember his damn name, you'll see him go off to that team and do well. You see him go off to the Heat, who have a defensive identity, and he's going to do well. And we'll look here scratching our head like, oh, we shouldn't have traded him. Like, that guy's, man.
I tell you what, Frank, let's put it like this. 2 years with the 2 coaches. Hornacek had him playing off ball, shooting guard. Coming to Fizdale. Fizdale, the beginning of the season, had him starting at the 3. Right? Then he went to the bench. Then he started, 9 games at point guard? He started 9 games at point guard or something like that. And then he was, and then he was, then he played a little bit off the bench. Then he was out of the lineup because he wasn't scoring. Then he came back. Then he was hurt. Him being hurt is not on Fizdale. But
Sim, one more point. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. More point. This is how crazy our fans are, right? Mitchell Robinson is praised and loved. Why? Because of flash plays, right? And I love Mitchell Robinson. I think he's going to be a good player, right? No one sits here and talks about when Mitchell Robinson forces a defender to make a bad shot without blocking it, right? Everybody loves Mitchell Robinson because he's a bunch of blocks and he has a bunch of flash alley-oop plays, right? But he doesn't shoot. And he doesn't really score unless somebody's giving him the alley-oop or is a putback, right? Mm-hmm. Frank Ntilikina, right? the flash plays, he's not getting a bunch of steals and all that stuff, right? But he was a #1 point guard in terms of defending against the pick and roll his first year. Why isn't he seeing the same light as Mitchell Robinson? That goes to show you that a lot of fans only know how to look up and perceive flash plays. Because if I'm looking at it, right, a guy like Iverson, right, could get a bunch of steals, but he's not a good defender. But Frank Ntilikina, no one takes into account that he was stopping premier point guards from scoring on us. And we put him down. Oh, he's not good. He can defend, blah, blah. He's not scoring enough, blah, blah. But Mitchell Robinson has games literally where he gets 8 points because we're not getting him the ball enough. He doesn't shoot. He doesn't create his own shot. But we praise him because he's getting flash plays. So I just want to point out the dichotomy between how he's viewed and how Frank Ntilikina viewed and how skewed we are in perceiving the value of these players, man.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell Robinson today, you know, people will laud his performance, and he played well. I'm not saying that he didn't play well. Now, Mitchell Robinson today only had 8 points. Now, if Frank only had 8 points, people would go crazy. Right? You know what did Mitchell... It is. You're right. It's a perception. You know, it's a perception. Obviously, you know, Mitchell Robinson is very active, but Frank is always very active. Even when he's not scoring, he's always active on the defensive end of the floor. You know, he's gonna every player is gonna make mistakes on the defensive end of the floor, on the offensive end of the floor. He's very active. Mitchell Robinson is very active, which is the reason why I want to see both of those guys on the floor together. Now that Mitchell Robinson is playing significant minutes and really feeling comfortable, I want to see those guys on the floor together. So now you got, I want to see what it looks like together. Great length. Both guys very active on the defensive end. But, you know, it's always going to be like that. It's always going to be like that. People have certain expectations. If Mitchell Robinson had been a top 5 pick, everybody would complain about him probably. They say, oh, yeah, he can block shots, but he doesn't do anything else. I can guarantee you that. But because Mitchell Robinson was a second-round pick, you know, it's all gravy. You know what I mean? It's all gravy. But if Mitchell Robinson right now, if he was a top 5 pick, people would have been like, yeah, but he can't score on his own. People would be, you know, saying all this kind of stuff. We'll see. You know, the future is gonna say it. And, you know, I guess we just, you know, we gotta let the future get here, see what happens. You know what I mean? Gotta let the future get here to see what happens. You know, but I don't think that Frank is going to be here. I'm saying I really don't.
Unfortunately,
I don't think.
And people in your chat room, Sim, like people are like, "Yo, but Frank doesn't create offense and blah blah." Well, the only way in Fizdale's offense you're going to create is if you have a guy, a point guard who's a superlative talent, because we play too much on ball. Last year, when KP was literally looking like an MVP player, who was creating most of those opportunities for him? You know, you can say Hornacek and.
Yeah, you there? Oh, I don't know. We lost him. Anyway, you know, whatever it is, people are gonna hate on Frank. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not Dennis Smith Jr. or De'Aaron Fox or whatever it is. You know, people don't appreciate some of the little parts of the game. You know, but it is what it is. That's the way the NBA fans are today. Let me get to a couple phone calls because I haven't gotten to any phone calls. Caller, you're on live. What's popping?
What's going on? What you doing today?
I'm good. Who's this?
This is Fred.
Fred, what's going on, Fred? You there?
What up? Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, my man.
All right, cool. Yeah, I want to chime in on your boy Frank, man.
Uh-huh.
I said that, you know, a lot of y'all babysitting Frank.
Tell me how we babysitting.
Y'all trying to paint, you know, the perfect team, the perfect picture for him.
How is that?
When you're in the NBA, it's not be perfect for him, you know.
It does.
If you're a baller, you want to go out there and ball.
But see, that's why I just think it's totally different. You know what I'm saying? Because every players have a role, right? Players have a role. I didn't say I wasn't babying Frank. I said I don't think he's going to be whatever he's going to be. I think he's going to be here in New York because the way that Fizdale wants to play, they don't have a plan on how to use him. I don't know how that's babying Frank. I just don't think that they understand how to use him.
Good.
And I said right or wrong. I didn't say if it was right. I didn't say if it was wrong. All I said is I don't think with Fizdale's style, Frank fits that style because he is not the kind of player that plays freelance basketball. That's not what he does. That's it. I'm not babying him.
I agree.
He can either get it or he's not going to get it. But I don't think that he's going to do it in New York because I don't think that Fizdale plays a style of basketball that Frank plays. I think they play two different games. And if Frank is going to become the player he's going to be, it's going to be in a place where there's a system where he knows what he has to do. Because in Fizdale's style of game, he doesn't know what he has to do. He doesn't know what his role is. If he goes to someone, if he was, someone like Popovich would give him a role. Rick Carlisle might give him a role, right, where he knows exactly what he has to do, and then he can excel in that role. He's just that kind of player. He has that kind of mindset. That's what I think. And that's why I think.
What would you call excelling for Frank? Because, I don't see nothing good about his game. I believe his defense is overrated. We're just looking, because we're Knicks fans, we're always looking for something good to say about him. But, it's hard to really dig something up other than say, okay,
I
he's
disagree.
a decent defender.
I see a whole lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff, and it's all in the details. I see a lot of stuff that Frank does. You can go back. I did a video called 5 Minute Frank. You can go back and look at that, right? And I kind of break down some of the details and things that I see that Frank does that maybe some other guards, at least on our team, don't do. Things that he sees, things that he notices. Sometimes it's the hockey assist or the hockey pass, or sometimes it's the one pass that might lead to 3 other plays that he'll do that people don't see. That's what I see. You know what I'm saying? That I think a lot of people don't notice.
We need so much more than that for the Knicks. In today's league,
I disagree with that.
I think that's dominant league.
I think that's exactly what we need, though.
If you're not producing on the offensive end, you have no place in this league.
I disagree.
Unless you're going to be
I totally disagree.
7-8 defensive man coming off the bench.
I totally disagree. We've been trying for years.
Name your top guards in the league.
Dude,
the top
I don't care about who the top guards
are.
Right? Every single top guard in the league that's winning, they have players that aren't top guards. They have players that aren't top scorers, that do the dirty work, that do the little things like keep the ball moving to the next person. Those players don't get enough credit, but every coach wants them. Every coach has them. Every team that is winning championships have them, right? They are the unsung heroes, but everybody, all the spotlight goes on the star player that can break down the defense and go to the basket, and make the nice plays and, put up 30 points every once in a while.
That's what the league is. That's what the league is today.
That's what people see.
This isn't the 90s ball of basketball anymore.
That's what people see from the naked eye.
We need 8 passes to get a bucket.
It's like this. Everybody sees the beautiful car on the outside, but nobody sees the garbage and the dirt that goes on inside the car that really makes the car run. You can have a perfect car on the outside, but if you have no pistons on the inside that's really making the car go, your car is going to sit in the garage because it won't work. Everybody sees the beautiful, shiny stuff on the outside, but nobody wants to pay attention to or look at the stuff that's on the inside. It's like a young kid goes out and buys a car, and he goes out and buys 20-inch rims, but he didn't take care of the oil, right? He didn't take care of the air filter. He didn't take care of none of that stuff because he don't care about that. He just cares what people sees on the outside. He cares about the flash that's on the outside. Right? But then after he rode around for a little bit and everybody's like, yo, your car is dope, blah, 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 blah. And then his car breaks down. And he don't got the money to fix it because he done blew up the engine because he didn't change the oil. But that's the stuff that really makes the car run. Everything else makes it look pretty. That makes the car run. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have those pieces to make it. You're going to have those pieces, the flash of your team. You're going to have that. It's cool. You're going to have the Steph Currys and all those guys. But you also got the guys that really do the Draymond Greens, right? that averages 8 points a game or whatever that is. You're going to have those guys that really are the glue to the team. Nobody ever wants to recognize those guys. I don't get it. Right? Nobody wants to recognize those guys that are going to be the glue to your team. Right? If you already have guards that can score, why do you need another one? Right? If you got Dennis Smith Jr., maybe you're going to have a Kyrie Irving, maybe, who knows, and you got another shooting guard. Why does Frank have to be that? Why can't he be the glue guy? That's what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? And those pieces may not come when you want them to come. Now, I do understand that people are like, well, he was a 9th pick. All right, you know what? Maybe he was. But that's water under the bridge now. We can't do nothing about it. So now we got to look at it for what he is and say, this is maybe where he might fit. Let's value that. You know what I'm saying? Because he can be. I mean, he didn't have, his people say he's took a step back.
We're talking about point guards.
Well, so now we have Dennis Smith Jr. So now we got to find another where else is he valuable here? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's going to happen because I feel like the Knicks play a certain Fizdale wants to play a certain style of basketball. We'll see if that style works or not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And Frank doesn't really fit that style of basketball, but I tend to think that it's exactly what we need. We need some of those players that bring more substance instead of flash. That's what I think. I think we need players that bring substance. People will say, well, this year he wasn't last year he was the number one guard in pick and roll defense. This year maybe he wasn't. But also, who was his partner? Because a lot of that's going to depend on your partner. Who is his partner defending the pick and rolls? And that's Cantor. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference in defending those pick and rolls. You know what I mean? I mean, on ball, he still played decent on ball defense. He got beat. We seen it more this year than last year, but he also played more minutes this year than last year. So, of course, you're going to see it more. There was more of a spotlight on it this year than last year. Last year, it was a surprise to most players in the league. But you see players in the league giving him props for playing his defense. But we don't as fans because we want to stop every single time down the floor. We want him never to get beat, and that's unrealistic. I don't know. I mean, this is just things that I see on the floor, man, that I see that he can do. And sometimes he does it. Sometimes he don't. He's young. Right? We at least got to give him 3 to 4 years to see can it happen. No one's expecting him to be a star. I don't expect him to be a star. I don't really care if he is or he's not. What I care about is can we put together a team of players? That'll be the star, the team. You're going to have your all-stars, but it's your team that's got to get it. And you got to have those pieces. I can guarantee you, if you have all players that are superstars on the team or want to be superstars or guys that can go get it and score, we're not gonna win nothing. We have no other substance anyplace else. We're not gonna win anything. I mean, teams have tried it. Teams have tried putting together all these guys that are, can really get it done and attack you on the offensive side of the floor and this and that, but they can't get stops when it comes down to it. They don't have some of those other intangibles that it takes. That's what I think. I'm not babying the kid. I just see some things that maybe some people don't because, I don't know, maybe it's me. Right? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just looking beyond the flash. Caller. You're on Live Enough for Knicks. What's poppin'?
Sam, this is Cody, man, from Brooklyn. It's been a while.
Well, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
I was rushing to talk to you because this conversation with Frank, man, is like the most upsetting conversation that we have in Knicks Nation, really.
Yeah.
Like, look, I would have loved to see Frank start this year better, right? Like shooting better. I would have loved to see that. But Frank's best attribute is his defense. His defense is basically his offense. If if you look back at the Nets game, he was all over the place the first quarter. Steals, shutting down the primary guard. Like, I don't understand why people don't understand that. Like, if you have a guy like Frank and Mitch are potential defensive players of the year. And if Fizz is the kind of coach he says he is, he should be able to coach those guys up. Like, you don't have a team. You have a team with 2 potential defensive players of the year, and you a quote-unquote defensive coach? Come on, dude. Come on now. OKC, let's do best-case scenario, right? We have Kyrie, KD next year, right? Oh, similar to OKC. OKC has Westbrook, Paul George, and Adams. Can you name me one more person on that team?
Say that again.
Houston. I said OKC has Westbrook, Paul George, and Adams. Can you name me one other person on that team?
Right. I mean, I'd have to think about it, but
Houston,
no.
Right. This year, Houston has Harden, and the guard's name is escaping me right now. But after that, can you name me anyone else on that team?
Right.
You know why? Because you have 2 super players, 2 alphas, and then you surround them with role players. Frank is the ultimate role player.
Exactly.
Imagine the guy shutting down your guard, and then if in case your guard beat him, your guard goes against Mitch. I mean, God. I mean, are we? I mean, seriously, guys, are we having this conversation right now? I mean, the brother said earlier, like, I think 2K has really ruined how we view basketball. Can you name me one outside of Gobert and that dude on Utah? Like, anybody else on Utah? Utah has like 2 good players, and they're like top 10 best team in the league because you know what? They have people who know their roles.
Right.
But y'all want like 10 guys who average like 30 points a game. Really?
Right. And listen, for a lot of people, honestly, 2K, we actually had a guy call up here. I forgot who he was talking about. I think he was talking about Ron Baker. I don't know who he's talking about. And he said the Knicks need to play such and such player because on 2K, this dude be cooking. And everybody just broke out like, yo, what are you talking about? I forgot who he was talking about. You know what I mean? But it was just like, come on, man. And there is a lot of people who base, you know, what they think about players on 2K. There really is a lot of players that do that, man.
Tim, the other night, Devin Booker, Dotson outside Frank and Mitch is probably like our best defensive player. The other night, Devin Booker was cooking Dotson. I'll take Frank. I'm not sure if Frank would be able to stop him, but let's see.
Yeah,
Frank is 6'7", with arms this long.
Yeah,
shutting down guard.
Let me tell you, this argument is going to go on for a while. You know what I mean? This argument is going to go on for a while.
I have defended Fizz. Like, I want him to succeed. But if he cannot coach Frank up, and you say that you are a defensive coach, remember, that's how you came in the league. Like, I'm a defensive coach. If you don't have this guy in front of you who is like a potential defensive player of the year, and you cannot coach him up, dude, you're not going to be able to take us to a championship. It's just not going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
All right, so thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate the call, bro. I appreciate the call and the support on my boy Frank Ntilikina. Appreciate the call and the support. No doubt. Peace. And I want to get Mark. Because I'm looking up something right now. I want to get Mark's perception and hear what Mark got to say, all right? Mark, I'm coming to you, man. I'm coming to you. Because you talk a lot about our point guards. Coming to you.
Okay.
Mark, what's good?
What's going on, bro?
What's good? We got a big argument going on about Frank.
All right,
listen. I honestly don't think he's going to be here for, to be a player in the future for the New York Knicks, but
I concur. I concur on that. I'm gonna tell you why I concur on that, because if KD and Kyrie comes, right, because of his contract, he's very cheap, and he does one thing well, is play defense. And when he got drafted, I want people to understand this. He has to be able to play with someone that is 10 times better than him. He's not a primary ball handler. He's a guy that could relieve the point guard from time to time. He's more of an off-ball guard that plays defense. This is what you're not understanding. He's not going to look good if he's playing with this type of talent. The only way his talent comes out is when he plays with a Kyrie or a Kevin Durant in a defensive big man. So when they run that pick and roll setting, he can force him to the big man that plays defense, which him and KP was doing. That's why that tandem looked so good at the time. And the most underrated thing about him is that he's a stabilizer. He's a stabilizer at the guard spot. Because if you go look back at the Porzingis games, the way how he stabilized the offense to get Porzingis in his spot. That's what you want in your off-ball guard from time to time. He's never going to be a point guard that runs you're going to run the offense to him. He was never that coming out of France. Because when he was playing with France, he was playing with Tony Parker and Boris Diaw, players that are better than him, where he could play the off-ball. That is his skill set. He's never going to be this cerebral point guard, no. But when you watch him, he plays defense. I never seen a guard play.
He'll be a cerebral player.
He'll be a cerebral player when you get the cerebral talent. Like, you will see it.
I mean, but he'll be a cerebral player, though. I mean, he's a cerebral player.
Yeah. He'll be a cerebral player, a cerebral defensive player. That is his inch. But one thing, Sim, this is going to be his Achilles' heels. When he's playing with, say if he's playing with Kyrie, because he's going to be a spot-up shooter, he has to be able to knock down those shots at the off guards. That's going to be
of course. He's got to be able to knock down those shots.
Yeah.
He's got to knock them down. And that's strictly on him to work on it. He has the form, right? The shot, the form ain't broken. He just got to knock it down. He don't have no touch. He don't have no touch on it.
I'm not giving him up because he's cheap. And if we get those two all-stars, he'll be able to cover a lot of Kyrie's defensive efficiency. Even though Kyrie, when he wants to play defense, he can. But from time to time, Kyrie's he's going to be the offensive guy. So Frank could relieve that off of Kyrie. That is what he's good at. I want y'all to just go watch when him and Porzingis are playing and how he stabilized the offense and how his play can be contagious at times defensively. But we have to have players that are stars with him. He's never going to be an all-star. He's going to be a bona fide rogue defensive player. I'm not giving him up because that contract is cheap. And then when his contract is over, his play is not going to demand that type of money. And you're going to need that type of money when you have those other two stars.
Right.
So, chat, whatever. If y'all thinking this guy's going to be the second come of something, get that out your head. Get that out your head.
And look, and see, this is what I was arguing with. He doesn't have to be. I know people complain.
Even if his game don't requires that. If you go watch him in front, it doesn't requires that.
He doesn't have to be the second coming of this or that. He doesn't have to be.
He don't have to be. He just have to play that role.
Just got to play that role, play some
defense. That role he played with Porzingis was just fine.
Knock down those outside shots. I still think there could be a time, depending on who we have, where he'll be one of the smartest players on the floor for us if he's on his team. When he's on the floor now, he's one of the smartest players. He may not have the heart.
Do you see how he uses his stance defensively? Yeah. If you go look back and look at his defensive stance, that is how you play proper defense. You show, not touch. He does not touch. He shows.
Yep. I tell you what.
He has great tendencies, man. No, you don't give that up, especially at that market price. You don't give that up.
Right.
You don't give that up. But another thing too, Sam, he has to stay healthy because that's what's hurting him right now too.
Yeah. He's got to stay healthy.
Because he's getting these injuries where he's played one game and then he's out.
Yep. He's got to stay healthy.
And that's where the fans are becoming fickle with him right now.
Yeah.
Because it felt like 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got to stay healthy. He started his career with the Knicks with an injury.
Yeah, so once he stay healthy and we get players with him, there's no way you're telling me Fizz don't see that defensive prowess that he has.
I hope
he wants to play Mitch 36 minutes, but he physically can't.
You know, and you know that's okay if he physically can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But he's showing you. He's showing you something. And don't tell me Frank didn't show y'all defensive prowess, because that night when we played against the Celtics and the way how he guarded Kyrie one-on-one, I never seen no NBA player do that to Kyrie. Nobody. He put Kyrie in a bind.
Yeah.
You don't give that up. No. Especially if we get Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Oh no, hell no. Oh hell no. Yeah. The best he could be is Patrick McCaw. He could be that role that can handle the ball from time to time, but you can't run an offense through him. He can't have that type of responsibility to be great.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, it's gonna be an argument. It's gonna be an argument forever. We know.
But everything is up to Scott Perry, because
it's gonna be an argument forever. I tell you what. You know, Frank Ntilikina hasn't played. He hasn't been here since January, right? He hasn't been with the team since January. Since January, since he's been out, the Knicks have 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. Right? The Knicks won January 4th. He played, I think, 56 minutes. That's when he got injured. Right?
Damn, that's 2 months.
Right? That's when he got injured. He's been out since then, and it's March. Okay? Before then, and people will laugh, because they still had a lot of losses. But he played at least 15 minutes in every one of the Knicks wins before then. Or at least 14 minutes. And
he's going to be a plus player. He's not a negative player.
Yeah, and he was a starter in a number of those wins. At least, the Knicks, before he went out, the Knicks had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. He was a starter in 1, 2, 3, 4 of those wins. He was a starter. Right? And 3 of those wins, he was starting at point guard. All right? And then we went on a 3-game win streak. He was out. Emmanuel Mudiay was at the point guard spot, but Frank was still playing about 27, 28 minutes a game. And then Mudiay was at the point guard spot. And then, of course, in January, he went out, traded for Dennis Smith Jr., and Dennis Smith Jr. has been manning the point guard spot ever since. Dennis Smith Jr. has started more games than Frank Ntilikina, yet still there's only been 3 wins.
Yo, Sid, you want to hear a funny story?
What's that?
There's an article. Rick Carlisle wanted Frank Ntilikina instead of Dennis Smith Jr. They wanted to draft Frank before Dennis Smith in that draft, bro. But Mark Cuban did it.
Yeah. Rick
Carlisle wanted him because the way Rick Carlisle offense, he will be perfect to play that role, the off-ball guard. That is his skill set.
He will. I'm telling you, if he gets traded, I want him to get traded to Dallas because I'd like to see him playing with KP and Luka.
And the thing too, that information that you got, that came from Mark Berman, and you can't listen to the things that he put out because everybody be blasting him. So it might not be a true rumor because that rumor did come from Mark Berman. I seen that on Twitter, but people be coming at him because he be putting out some false stuff. You remind me of like Rick Bucher. They just put out information.
Yeah.
So it might not be true because I think they like him. I think the only way he'll get traded if they got a heist from another team. That's the only way he'll get traded. Because the way Scott Perry is, I'm afraid of him because you don't know what he gonna pull.
Right. Hey, Ant, go ahead, man. And this will be the last thing on it. Then I'm gonna start.
I think the problem that people and I'm a Frank fan, but I think the problem that people have with the coverage that we give on Frank is it's always like the team's fault or Fizdale's fault or the system. I don't think it's been good enough this year.
I mean,
even defensively, I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's deserved to play over Smith Jr. or Moody.
I never said that he needed to be a starter, right? When he hasn't played well, when he hasn't hit shots, I've said he's got to hit shots. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. I remember he had a really bad game. The next night, he didn't play any minutes. And Nate, whoever was in here, they were like, he didn't play. I was like, well, he didn't deserve to play, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, if you don't deserve to play, you don't deserve to play, right? But I just think it's a mistake if they get
a little soft on Frank than some of the other dudes, though.
What you say?
He don't get it like the other guys get it all the time. And I think sometimes he's just, like, I just don't feel like there's nothing, like, I don't feel like he's irreplaceable right now. Like Kadeem Allen, right? Why? Like, if Kadeem Allen can do what Frank was doing, but better right now. And I just don't think Frank is doing anything elite. His defense, it's kind of like if you had a car for 10 years with no air conditioner, and then you finally get a car with air conditioner, you think it's the greatest car ever.
I mean, I think, did we have any wins when Kadeem Allen was playing?
I can't even remember. Probably not. It was like an 18-game losing streak.
Yeah, we didn't have any. I think that he may not have, defensively, you can say he took a step back, but also he's played more minutes, right? So then that, he's playing more minutes. He had, so there's going to be more chances for him to get taken. Look, any player is going to get taken to the hoop, get taken to the basket. Any player is going to get blown by. You know what I mean? Because that's going to happen. I don't care who you are in the NBA. We've seen the best defenders get blown by. We also seen him have some good defensive plays. The biggest thing with Frank, the biggest thing that I see with fans, to me, with Frank, there's been nights where Frank was, had 7 points, and if he would have made 2 more shots, if he would have been, 4 for 6 instead of 2 for 5, he might have had 10 points. People would have been happy with him.
No, definitely. I'm with you on that.
I've seen a lot of people who, on nights when his shot was hitting, they say, oh, he's playing aggressive. And really, he didn't play any more aggressive. He just made the shots. Right. You know what I'm saying? He does the same thing that he would do any other time. He just made the shots. I think most people based everything with him on his offense. And I think that's a mistake. If he scores, oh, yeah, he had a great night. If he doesn't score, he's garbage. You know what I'm saying? Well, he's the type of player that I think can have an impact on the game without scoring.
I just want to come back, forget offense. Like, my expectations for his offense, I don't really care about. I want him to come back and be an animal on defense. If he can prove himself to be an elite defender, if he's going to hang his hat on defense, he needs to hang his hat on defense and, like, really disrupt something. Yeah. Like, Mitch is disruptive. I don't know if Frank has ever been that disruptive. Like, I want him to come back and be disruptive.
But it's going to be harder for Frank to be that disruptive. You know why? Because, he's not blocking shots.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He's guarding. He's playing defense on guards on the perimeter. That's totally different than, playing defense. Now Mitchell Robinson blocks some 3-point shots too. But it's totally different than blocking shots off the ball or playing defense on big men and blocking their shots. Playing against guards is going to be different. Guards are going to beat their man more times than big men beat their men to the basket. And it's going to look like those guards get exposed more because they're out on the perimeter where they're in plain sight, where big men are closer to the basket. You know what I mean? So, that's going to be harder. It's really going to be harder and tougher to determine. What I think you need to look to see how many times. I mean, I can break down how many times he's been beaten to the basket. I can also break down times when I seen Frank hop between 2 and 3 different players playing defense, right? Switching between 2 3 different players on one play and making the right switch. You know what I'm saying? I can break that down and you can see it. To me, that's also that is a disruptor. Now I think when he comes back, it's going to be hard to see it that way because he's going to be playing the 2 and the 3. Where I think he's playing the 3. If he's playing three, I
think may be able to get more disruptive guarding the twos because they're not as quick.
But
I think Frank guarding twos may even be more valuable to me.
He might, but if he's playing that 3 spot, those guys are going to be a lot stronger than him. You might see him getting post up. You might see him getting beat up, not beat up, but getting scored on in the post because he's just not going to be strong enough, in my opinion. I don't think he's strong enough to defend that. Not right now.
He just got to make his stand. Whatever it is, man, whether it's with us, I just want to see him come back and do something.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
this time.
I don't think it's
flashes are good, but I need some consistent. Like I'm here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be with us. I think he's going to end up getting traded sooner or later, and he's going to play well, find a role someplace, and people are then going to say, "Damn, how stupid were they to trade him?" Watch.
I hope so. He's a good kid, man. I hope so.
Big shout out to CLTA for the super chat. He said, just release Moutier and play Kadeem Allen. You know, I mean, listen, Kadeem Allen is great. He did a lot of good things, and I think that he'll be the type of player when you get, you know, if you get a Kyrie or you get a KD and, you know, they come and play with you, that you're going to need players on his type of a contract, you know, to fill out your roster. But, you know, he's like, what is he, 25 years old? You know, we can compare him to Frank if you want to, but, you know, he's had a lot more experience playing basketball, so that's going to be a little bit different. You know, but, folks, you know, this is always going to be an argument, so we can save this argument. It's always going to be an argument about Frank Ntilikina. Right now, the Knicks are on the first end of a back-to-back. They play the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow. You know, they were at home today. Now they're flying right back out and got to go to Minnesota. We'll see if Frank flies with the team. I don't know. I'm gonna unmute everyone so we can just, you know, we talk about this game real quick and then we're gonna sign off. Anybody can speak up. What do you think about this Minnesota game?
Well, Anthony Towns is playing for all NBA, so he get an extra $30 million. So just watch out for him tomorrow night.
What's Anthony? I haven't even paid attention what Anthony Towns is doing right now. What's he been doing?
He's averaging like over 28 points, 13. Like he's on an all NBA tier right now. That's what he's trying to make right now. So you get an extra $30 million. So he's motivated.
Karl Anthony Towns on the season is averaging 24 points, 12 rebounds, shooting 52.2% from the field, 40% from.
Yeah, but go look back. Go look back at his last games and what he was averaging.
Yeah, let's see what he's doing his last games. Karl Anthony Towns, his last few games. Let's see where I'm at. Yep, look like he's cooking, man. Last few games.
All NBA.
Karl Anthony Towns, he had 24 points. The other day, 24 points, 4 rebounds. He had 41 and 14, 28 and 10, 42 and 17, 37 and 18, 25 and 9, 24 and 10, 32 and 8, 27 and 11, 26 and 18, 31 and 12. Yeah, he's cooking. Karl Anthony Towns, he's cooking, man. He's
just pray that we don't get one of those Karl Anthony Towns nights.
I think he's going to struggle a little bit. I think we got the guys to match up with him. Like Mitch, and I think Vonleh is a good matchup with him because Vonleh's big, strong, mobile. So I think we can make it tough for Towns. And Karl Anthony Towns has shown that if you make it too tough for him, sometimes he'll, you know, turn into a little flower. So, you know, I like the Vonleh matchup on him.
Well, you know, how long has Karl Anthony Towns been in the league? This is his 3rd year in the league?
Yeah, 3rd.
I think it's 4th.
4? No, him and KP.
Fourth year.
Him and KP came in at the same time. This is their 3rd.
No, they say 4th year.
This is their 4th year in the league. Yeah, this is their 4th year in the league. Both of them their 4th year in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
we need that Giannis Noah Vonleh, the one that guarded Giannis that day. If we get that guy on defense, he can make it tough for Karl Anthony Towns. So.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, they are 30 and 35, 10th in the Western Conference, most likely out of the playoffs. But I'm sure they're still fighting, trying to get into the playoffs. You know, they are it's gonna be. I just want to see the Knicks come out, play hard, compete with them. Really go out there and try to get a win. I want to see Fizdale, at least for one game, just go out there and say, you know what? Let's play this like it's a playoff game. Maybe he already has. I don't know. But I don't think so. Based on the way that I see him do the substitutions and stuff like that, I don't think that he does. I want to see him do it.
I say the players play hard, but they just inconsistent players, bro.
I mean,
that's what I see all the time.
It's not just about them playing hard. It's also playing intentional, right? That's what I was saying about when I asked if we had this roster, if we could fight for an 8th seed. And I said it would be so different with the way that they play. And everything would be so intentional with what they did on the floor. Right now, it's kind of like going out and playing a pickup game. You still play hard in a pickup game, right? But look,
as an NBA player, you still want to play hard because you still want your roster spot for next year.
Yeah, I get that. But it's kind of a natural inclination for you to do these things when you know what the team's intentions are. When you know, when you know what they're trying to do. You know that they're not really focused on winning right now. It's a natural thing. It's just like if you go out and you play pickup. Right, you go out and you play pickup basketball. You're playing hard. You're working up a big sweat. You're playing, you're really playing hard. But now if someone puts money on the line, you'll see the intensity pick up totally different. And that playing hard turns into something really serious now. You're not just playing hard anymore. You're playing serious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
there's some games, but there's some games where they do play hard to win games, and there's just some games where they just inconsistent. That's just all.
I mean, of course.
I don't think they go out there to really blow games like that. I mean, you're gonna have games that look like that.
I'm not saying that they go out there to blow games. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they don't go out with the same type of edge, the same type of intensity, the same type of fire as they would if they knew that they were playing for something. You know what I'm saying? And it makes a difference. It just makes a difference. And your body would do it naturally. You know what I'm saying?
It does. Yeah. But
your body would do it naturally.
But the adrenaline, man. They do play hard. Now, I don't complain about like when they come on the court. Sometimes just most of them just are inconsistent. And that's where the play is. Like, their play is just inconsistent. So it might not look like, they're not playing up to par. No, it's just the inconsistency for most of them.
Right. It's inconsistent, right? So inconsistent offensively, inconsistent, we're making bad defensive plays. But you can always bang. And you can always scrap and dive, right?
Yeah, but against him, we don't have those. Most of our players aren't like that.
But that's I can guarantee you would see some of them play more like that if we were playing for something a little bit more. Because right now you're gonna have players that are protecting themselves from injury because you're not playing for anything, right? So they may not dive for the ball because I'm not trying to get injured right now. We only got 12 games left. Why am I gonna go injure my knee now? You know what I'm saying? Then if you're playing for something. If the season started with this squad right now, I think you would see a different level of intensity. You see a different level of focus. Right now, that type of intensity and focus isn't there because they know that we're not playing to do anything.
But then again, when you look at the roster, right? A lot of them before they came here was defensive. They wasn't good on defense. So for them to come in, and to play to a certain level, that was never going to happen because where they came from, the defense was instilled in them enough for them to come to another team to show out.
I get that. They may not come with the same, they may not already be a defensive player, but doesn't. But there's still a level of intensity. Like you can see it in Dennis Smith Jr. Right?
Even today when we was coming back, you felt the intensity, but due to the lack of inconsistency that our players have, and the other team have a better player than us. That's what happened.
I understand that.
Fox came out.
I understand that, but you cannot tell me that they're playing with the same level of intensity right now that they would be playing with if they knew that they were in the earshot of the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a little different.
But then again, a different level. But then again,
Sam, when you look at this roster, anybody that's smart knowing that this roster don't even have a 10% chance of even making to the 8th spot.
But no, say if somebody told our team, if you beat Minnesota next game, you automatically get a playoff spot. You would see a different Knicks team.
Different intensity. A different intensity when they came out. A different intensity. Because they don't play with that type of intensity. And it's because they don't have to. Because they're not playing for anything. I mean,
it's hard to do, man.
It goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. You could be right and I could be right, and we could be wrong and you could be wrong. You know, it goes hand in hand.
You're right. But
they do play. They do play hard.
They play hard.
Some games where they just don't.
But I think hard and intense are two different things. Like you play hard, but intense takes it up another level.
And then again, you gotta have with the NBA, you gotta have those players that plays with that certain intensity. It's not very much players that we have that can play, even if they want to. We just don't have those players that could play with that will. Like a lot of players don't have the will.
I don't know. We don't. We have some new players on this team from that was there at the beginning of the season, and we don't know if
I don't know. I saw JaVale McGee play a great playoff game last year. JaVale McGee, and he was playing intense. So
yeah, I mean, we don't know with this squad if they started from the beginning of the season. And the message, see, a lot depends on the messaging, though, too. Yeah. If the message to the team is, we want the playoffs right now. Talk about, let's say we started the season with this same team. The message is, we want the playoffs right now. We want you guys to go out there and get it. You'll see a different intensity and a different level of play than if from the beginning of the season, like the beginning of this season, the message was, we're in a developmental season.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The messaging is different. Like when we played the Wizards, right? After one of those games, I forgot which one. Not the one where it was the goaltender. It was another one. I said, two teams are very different, even though they may. I mean, the Wizards have a little more talent.
They have more talent than us, Sam. It's just sometimes it's just the talent level, man.
But the Knicks, you can see they play with no desperation because they have no expectations. Where the Wizards, but the Wizards had expectations, so they had some desperation because they expected to make the playoffs, regardless if they had the talent or not. They expected to make the playoffs, so they played with a different level of desperation. The Knicks didn't have that expectation. They knew that it was a developmental year. They knew that Fizdale wasn't looking at. They weren't looking to try to peep the playoffs. It was just like we're gonna try to develop players. We're gonna try to do this, that, and this, and that, whatever it is. So the expectations aren't there, which means there's no desperation.
Okay, even when you watch the Washington Wizards, right? You know what stops them a lot of times from being really, really, really good? They have a lot of inconsistent players, bro. That has a lot to do with.
I get that. I understand that. I understand that. That's not my point. That's not my point. I understand you have inconsistent players, but every team in the NBA has inconsistent. The whole game of basketball is based on inconsistency. You shoot 50%, that's good. 50% is inconsistent. In the real world, right? The whole game of basketball is based on inconsistency. The whole game of basketball is based on mistakes. Like I said, you shoot 50% from the field, that's good. But that means you miss half your shots, right? So all of basketball is based on being inconsistent. The teams that win are the teams that can be a little bit more consistent than the other teams. Not that they are, by real world standards, not that they're perfect, because you'd have to make 100% of your shots to be perfect, right? Your team would shoot well over 50% to be like, 50% in the real world is bad. If someone said, I'm only going to give you 50% of your income, you say, hell no, you're not. Right?
Yeah, give me my money.
Right? So, it's only in basketball that these percentages, in sports overall, but, so basketball is inconsistent anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's just inconsistent. It's the teams that can make the less mistakes and be a little bit more.
Yeah, but then again, Sim, right? Like say if a team like Brooklyn, right? We look at Brooklyn talent, right? And you look at every individual player, right? You know what D'Angelo don't give you every night. You know what LeVert going to give you every night. You know what Ray House and Jefferson going to give you on defense every night. You know what the center's going to give you every night on defense, even if everything else don't go well for them. But you know they're going to bring defense. Our players now, it's like wish-wash. A lot of wishy-wash players that we have.
And you know, part of the reason why it's wishy-wash, though, is because we play 12 players. I can guarantee you.
And they're coming from other teams that didn't want them. So they're coming to an environment.
I guarantee you, we would, with this group, things would look very, very different starting a season. They may not make the playoffs, but I think they would be way closer than they are now, right?
I would say they will have over 20 wins. Put it like that.
Starting the season, and their intentions are to actually make the playoffs. Fizdale actually takes his rotation down to like 9 players, right, and says these are the players that I'm rocking with. Now you can really build some chemistry. Right, down the stretch, you're not just throwing guys out there. You're like, I got my group that I'm rocking with down the stretch. All that makes a difference because right now, there's none of that. Now, you don't know who's going to be in the game down the stretch from night to night.
Yeah, because another thing, he's pulling out the hat because one night Moutier could be looking so good.
Man, that's
the
true.
Next night he looks trash. So he looks at his bench and said, "You come in. If that person looks bad and nothing's working, you come in." That's how the Knicks looked all season.
I mean, I get it.
People are just all out of whack, bro.
That's true. But if Fizdale was trying to win, he would have found his 8
but
players.
I don't think he wants to win, bro. Like,
no, I'm talking like really trying to win. I'm talking, okay, so you go into the game and you want to win the game, but you still have an idea, you know, I might try to use this player here, use this player here. But if you're really, really trying to win, like win, you got your 8 or 9 guys that you rock with no matter what.
And Sam,
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta put heave in this.
Huh?
We don't have a bona fide scorer, bro.
I mean, I'm not talking about being.
No. But I know what you're saying. But say we're playing with the intensity. Say if the Knicks from start one with this same roster playing with an intensity that we're gonna make it to the playoff. We do not have the offensive player to even sniff it.
I get that. All I'm saying is that this team, this team could be way better than they are.
Yeah, no, they could be way better because
you start the season knowing this is what our goal is, and I'm gonna coach it that way. You guys are gonna play it that way. They could be way better than they are. Right now, the team does not play with that type of intensity or that type of edge.
To end this, right? To make it all like subtle. We had Tim Hardaway. So put it like that. We had Tim Hardaway. Okay? We had someone that put up 18 shots, maybe even 20, that averaged over 18 points, inconsistent, streaky shooter that hurts the team. So, that has a lot to do with a lot of our losses in the beginning of the season.
Dallas is figuring that out right now.
You know what's so funny? I seen someone on Twitter, it's like, this is what we traded for? God damn, the Knicks got one.
Right.
The Knicks got away one.
They feeling that right now.
Let me tell you something. If like when you watch Tim Hardaway, it hurts you because he has the shooting mechanics. If the dude was efficient, he would be an important player to an important team, bro.
He would. He has the size.
But he is just so erratic.
Yeah, I know, man.
Did you see the quote he said the other day?
Nah.
He's saying the Knicks didn't give me and KP a chance. Bro, we gave you plenty of chances and you went out there and did the same thing over and over again. You never changed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to either.
He's never. No, he is who he is, man. After your 4th, 5th year, bro, you are who you are, and he's a chucker. He's just a chucker, bro.
He's not going to.
Once a chucker, always a chucker. He's one of those dudes in the park.
I'm so glad to get rid of that contract, man.
Yo, bro, listen, bro. Because when I went and looked back at that contract, we'd have had him for another 3 years. So
I know.
That relief is because I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it.
I think it was a player option in the last year, and I was like, oh, he's gonna take the.
Yeah, he would have picked. He's gonna pick that up. Plus, I had a trade kicker with an 8% on it, where he would with 15%. Where if he got traded that year, he would have got an extra $8 million in that contract. That's why we couldn't get rid of him. Because that damn extra 8%. 15%.
Well, hey, man, I'm out, fellas.
All right, man.
I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. We're going to talk about Ja Morant tomorrow night. We'll break that down a little bit tomorrow night after the game.
He was amazing. I ain't going front. He was amazing last night, but
we're gonna check
I don't want
that
him for
out.
this team.
All right, so I appreciate you guys for jumping on with me, man. We about to head up out of here. All right,
man.
I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Later. And ladies and gentlemen, if you did not subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell. You get a notification anytime that I go live. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I'm about to head off and watch some college basketball, chill for a minute. Fundraisers tomorrow. I got basketball tryouts to get to, but I'm definitely watching the game tomorrow night, and I'll be on after the game. So make sure you guys jump on with me. All right, we play the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Minnesota. I'll be on after the game. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm rolling out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace.